The other big difference in this track is the transition from the track to pit road. And to say, Brad, that it's abrupt might be the nicest way to say it. But pit road may also be the best place to find some passing today.
Well, it could be. We've seen a lot of practice over the past several days, and we've watched a lot of the Cup guys as well as the Nationwide guys struggle getting on and off pit road. As they come off the racetrack, it really does, where the apron meets the track, it's an abrupt drop-off. And so we have a lot of guys concerned about tearing up their splitter. You see Elliott Sadler here. Watch that car as it gets disheveled as it comes off the racetrack. The line and the cone, commitment cone, is right there. So as you get a little bit discombobulated as you come off track, you have to pay attention. You're watching Sam Hornish come off. He's trying to make a late exit because it's a smoother entry, but he's too hot, too fast. He misses the commitment cone and the line altogether. We're going to see a lot of issues right there at that point today and tomorrow.
Did you just say Sam Hornish Jr. is too hot, by the way?
Nah.
I also say he's discombobulated. He's discombobulated, too.
I will tell you, Brad, I do think they're going to have some problems on pit stops, the very first pit stop, until they get this thing figured out. But once they get it figured out, they got to make a mistake to know not to make another mistake first. Sure. And I think they'll get it figured out.
It'll be an issue for a little bit.
It's a tough transition, but they'll have to deal with it.
Yeah. Not so just a transition. Remember, if this is a one-groove racetrack, those guys under green flag conditions that are slowing in better be signaling good, or they'll get run over.
We saw an accident yesterday in practice just like that.
Well, what did NASCAR tell us earlier? Don't change the driver, and we won't change the commitment code, but we need to change the driver attitude about getting onto pit road. So today's race will certainly be entertaining. And tonight on college football, check this one out. The #1 team in the land is on ESPN tonight as A.J. McCarron leads the Crimson Tide. Well-balanced attack in Knoxville. They faced Tyler Bray and the Volunteers team, who obviously need a big win. College football primetime presented by Hampton Hotels. Top-ranked Alabama versus Tennessee tonight at 7 on ESPN. You can also watch live on Watch ESPN. And when we come back, remember, this is the place, this is the series where talent is developed. So when we have a question mark race like this one, how much harder is it on those young guns like Johanna Long? And oh, by the way, why these young guns have this question mark race, what they do today might very well affect the race tomorrow. We'll explain why. My, how things can change in just 24 hours. Friday at this track, it was windy and actually quite cold. Today, though, the perfect fall day. Welcome to the newly repaved Kansas Speedway. It is new for us, and it is really new for these guys. There are 9 guys who are making, our drivers, I should say, who are making their second ever Kansas start today. But these 12 are making their first ever start at this track. And Doc Punch, perhaps ignorance is bliss in at least this occasion.
Well, Nicole, when this series was started 31 years ago, it was designed to give talented young drivers a chance to showcase their skills at the racetracks and against some of the same drivers that run in NASCAR's Sprint Cup. And certainly Cole Whitt has done just that with 3 top 5 finishes this year. Cole, a lot of people on your team today believe today you take the next step in becoming a rising star in this series. What do you think?
Oh, we're always trying to make a name for ourselves. That's what the Nationwide Series is all about. But Junior Motorsports has given me, an awesome opportunity here all season long, and just trying to make the most of it. But, I'm obviously here to try to make a name for myself, and, I think we got a really good car here, and, here's the day to do it.
What is the biggest unknown for you as a driver today on this new surface?
It's just that the track's a little bit different today. We haven't been out here in the sun at all. Both of our test sessions or practice even was all in the shade. This morning qualifying we had a little bit of sun, but it was still cool, and it was earlier this morning, and now we got a nice hot day here that we're going to race in. It's not hot yet, but watching the Cup cars, they slowed down probably about half second to almost 7/10 or so. So far we've only been able to go faster every time we hit the track, so we don't know what it's going to be like here, and hopefully we hit it right.
Hey, good luck today.
All right, thank you.
A lot of unknowns for Cole Whitt, who rolls off 8th.
In September, he became the youngest winner ever in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series, and today 18-year-old Ryan Blaney starts just his 11th Nationwide Series race. Ryan, what's been the steepest part of the learning curve for you as you transition into these Nationwide cars?
Really, there's a whole different feel from what I'm used to, and especially coming to these mile-and-a-half tracks is totally different. Learning the air and how tight you need to be coming into the race. It's just been a big learning curve overall. But I really do think we have a good discount tire Dodge for today for the race. We didn't qualify where we wanted to, but I'm confident we can get up there in the race and be up there and be in contention for a good finish.
Last time Nationwide Series ran here at Kansas, the 22 was in victory lane. Brad Keselowski drove it to the victory. What are your expectations today?
Well, You know, I'm definitely hoping for a top 5. You know, a totally different place than what it was last year, but you know, these guys are really taking care of me good, and like I said, I think we got a really good car and race trim, so I'm aiming for a top 5, if not a victory here today in Kansas.
Best of luck. Ryan Blaney, he'll start 27th today, Nicole.
Thanks, guys. Fair to say, Rusty, that the drivers out there today are kind of the guinea pigs here this weekend. ARCA was here last night, but still.
Yeah, they might be a little bit of guinea pigs because everybody's talking about how the Nationwide race are looking forward to how much rubber the Nationwide guys are going to lay down on the track for the big Cup race tomorrow. But, you know, that will happen, no doubt about that. But the young guys that have never been here before, they've really got to respect this racetrack, guys. I mean, they got to have extreme patience because the groove is very, very narrow. You cannot get away with overdriving this racetrack. If you think you're going to drive that car in the corner a little too deep and slide around and get away with it, you probably won't because that second groove is pretty slick right now. So the young guys, in my opinion, guys, have got to be extremely patient out there today. Don't overdrive, like I said, get themselves in trouble. And they almost need to respect this track, kind of like they're running Darlington, South Carolina. They got to really look at the track and not overdrive it, because I will promise you, this place being brand new with the hard tires, you will bust your butt and get in trouble big time.
Well, do you think we're going to see more cautions out there today for that reason, because it is so new and no one knows what to expect?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's a feeling out process that will have to happen. Just like Rusty's talking about, that second groove is going to be paramount to having a good race. And you're going to be forced to get into that second groove when we start this race. So someone is going to be a little bit edgy early on. I think we could see some incidents. And the other thing is the variable banking. We've got extra banking added to this racetrack.
Which should work.
Should work, should help these cars a ton, but it also creates more speed. It creates more opportunity to drive these cars deeper into the corner, especially with this tapered spacer. These guys are driving this car so hard into the corner, it's unreal. So there's a lot of opportunity for some calamity, as we call it.
Well, I think the key there is how wide is it going to get, how fast it's going to get there, and how hard is the first person going to hit that goes up there. Because this track will be calling them, come on up here, come on up here, plenty of width. So we'll see. But, you know, going back to the younger drivers in this sport, I think it really says a lot for what Joe Balish and his people have done, Joe, the director of the Nationwide Series, to attract younger talent. Because if you look at the field of young talent right now being developed in the Nationwide Series, it's pretty encouraging.
And let's be clear about something. This has not been a normal race weekend. They were here testing a few days before the race weekend started. There have been a number of practice sessions this weekend. ARCA was here last night laying rubber down on the track. The Nationwide Series will continue to lay rubber down on the track. How much will that impact what we see tomorrow?
Well, I think it's really going to help a lot. I mean, like I said earlier, the Cup guys are really relying on these young guys, the Nationwide guys, to really widen the racetrack out, put a lot of rubber down so they can use that second groove, that 17 to 20 degrees of variable bank, and really make it useful. But these guys are the guinea pigs. They've got to be careful. And the good thing is, like Ray was talking, the young guys have had more practice here than they've ever had. They've had, what was it, Thursday around the racetrack, Brad?
That's right.
A lot of stuff yesterday.
It's been a very busy weekend. The exact opposite of these young drivers is a gentleman who really has done his best in this series this year. He starts on pole. Talking about Joey Logano and Dave Burns, he's really done a lot to try to stink up the show this year, hasn't he?
With apologies to Tom Carnegie, it is a new track record for Joey Logano. High speeds, narrow groove today. What's going to be the biggest challenge to your trying to get the 9th victory of the season?
Exactly what you said. Fast track with the narrow groove is going to be the biggest issue, but I tell you, we just got done here with Cup practice, and it heated up a lot, and we're moving up a lot more up the racetrack. So I think the second lane's going to definitely come in, and you'll see some guys actually running up there, I think. So I think this heat, that finally it's the first time we've been here all week and the sun's been out, I think that's going to widen out the racetrack and improve the racing here. So I think it's going to be a good race, actually.
In a year where it's known that you're leaving Joe Gibbs Racing, this has been a huge upside, I'm sure. What's it been like for you to win all these races?
It's been awesome. I would never dream of winning 8 in a season, and we still got 4 more left to make some stuff happen. So it's been a lot of fun. It's been cool knowing that every time you get in a racetrack, you have a shot at winning no matter where we go. Even at my worst racetracks, we've been really good at. So excited about running as many as I can, and I got a really good GameStop Need for Speed Toyota today.
All right, we wish you luck today. Joey is our in-race reporter. If you'd like to join the conversation, log on to ESPN.com, search in-race reporter, or you can tweet NASCAR ESPN.
8 wins for Logano this year in 18 races. Now, quick math, that is a 444 batting average. Quick math with the calculator that I used earlier, I will be honest. That's pretty darn awesome. A-Rod, nowhere near that, obviously.
He'd love to have those numbers. Yeah, and for Joey Logano, this has been a career saver. I do believe that. He has struggled in that Cup car. And we saw Joey come into this series a few seasons back with tremendous expectations, lofty praise.
Sliced bread.
Did a great job initially in the Nationwide Series, moved into the Cup Series, and has struggled. And I think this, and I've talked to Joey a little bit about this, the confidence, the revitalization that he has gained through winning these races in this series helps to reassure his talent, his ability, and all of that.
I tell you
and
what,
it will lead to success in the Cup Series.
I totally agree with what you're saying. I don't care what you're racing and what league you're racing. If you're winning, man, that makes you feel good. It pumps you up, gives you a lot of internal morale. Your team is fired up. I mean, look, Carl Edwards, he really struggled last year not winning any Cup races to speak of in the chase, but he won a ton of Nationwide races. This year he shows up at Watkins Glen, wins the Nationwide race. I talked to Carl afterwards. He said, man, that win was really, really big. So for Joey to win 8 races right now, he's going to be walking on a cloud. I mean, he feels great.
We have said the same thing about Elliott Sadler, to come back to the Nationwide Series, to not only be winning races, but to be running for the championship. The same theory applies with Joey Logano.
I think it does, and really the proof is in the finishes. If you look at, as Joey was winning those races, his finishes in his Cup car have gotten a lot better, I think.
Yeah, you've pointed that out over the weeks.
He's been among the best of the rest.
A string of top tens, not so great finish at Talladega, but he ran very well before he was caught up in the wreck. Yeah. So I think as he gets closer to the front, and we talked to him at dinner the other night, he feels really strongly that he's got a shot to win this race today as well as tomorrow.
That's right.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I'll totally forgive him for Talladega. How's that?
I totally agree with that. We'll let that one slide. We want to know, how many wins do you think Joey Logano will have when this season winds up? Join our conversation on the Twitter at NASCAR ESPN. Use the hashtag PitStudio. And as always, tweet us your seats. How are you watching this race today? That's just too cute. I'm not sure about my friend here. I actually know this from Jerry. The Raiders?
Yeah, I don't care. Jerry let him sit outside and watch the TV. That's awesome.
This guy is totally into it. Tweet us your seat. We want to see how you're spending this gorgeous Saturday afternoon.
3 TVs?
And when we come back, there are just 4 races to go in this series. Kansas, Texas, Phoenix, and Homestead. The top 3 are separated by 29 points. Is this the last chance for Austin Dillon to get in the mix? Or should we really be calling this a 2-man race for the championship? That's when we come back. It is enhanced coverage for select Nationwide Series races with more cameras than ever. Just log on to NASCARNationwideSeries.com/RaceBuddy. It is, of course, a nice little challenge for our championship contenders out there today, who so far this weekend have all spent time in the top 10 in practice. They will all start in the top 10. And if you look at the starting lineup, they're led by Austin Dillon, who starts second. So let me ask this. Is this the last chance for Austin Dillon to really make this a 3-man race?
Oh, no, absolutely not. Austin Dillon was very, very strong here in practice. They have an excellent 1.5-mile program at Richard Childress Racing. I would not be surprised at all if Austin Dillon did walk away today with a victory. He's right in the middle of this thing without question.
I think he will.
2 wins at Kansas as well.
No, he's strong.
No, absolutely. I mean, he's not that far out of it. I mean, either of those guys could have some trouble, but he can leave here and take a good slice out of that 29-point deficit.
He needs to make something happen here today.
Well, let's talk to the point leader. That's Elliott Sadler, who's standing by with Jamie Little.
And yesterday in practice, Elliott said you guys were still searching. So what was it exactly that you were trying to make better for today's race?
We're just, you're always trying to find that little bit of speed and that little bit of grip that you're looking for each and every week. And, we made a few changes to our race car last night. And, hopefully our one-main financial car will be good today. I mean, today is a totally different day. This is the first time we've seen the sun here at Kansas. The track's going to be a lot different. We got a lot of adjustability built in the car. We're going to go after it. We're going to have a few chances on pit stops to make some adjustments. Hopefully we'll be good there at the end when it counts.
Well, with you leading this championship right now, 4 races remaining, what is it like coming to a track that's pretty much all new to you guys with the repave and a new configuration? How does that play on your psyche?
It's fun. I think anytime you get to show up at the racetrack with a competitive car and a really good race team and a chance to do good, lead laps and win races, it's fun. This is what we dream about as kids. This is what racing's all about. And yeah, the track is different, but it's different for everybody. But it's just a chance to come here and compete makes it a lot of fun to be here as a race car driver.
All right, he has a 13-point advantage over the man that's standing by with Vince Welch.
That's right, Jamie. The defending series champion, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. In the past month, he's gone from 9 up to 13 down. I know that's not a trend that you want to see continue. What do you got to do here in the next month to get that turned around?
Well, we got to go out and win races. I think this team's capable of it. We got the equipment to do it, and our Sam's Club Mustang was fast in race trim. We knew we didn't have a shot at the pole today, but we felt good about how it drove in race trim, and with the sun out, it's going to be a little bit different today than what we practiced. But all in all, it's going to be a fun day, and we just got to go get it.
3 of the final 4 races in the series are on mile-and-a-half tracks. You, Elliott, Austin have all won on the mile-and-a-half this season. What's going to be the difference down the stretch in these final 4?
Just staying consistent up front. I know technically if we go win all 4, then we have the championship. So that would be the key. That would be the goal. If we could do that, that's going to be a tough one. But, all in all, I think we just got to run consistently up front like we know we can and have, somewhat this year. We just got to do it in 4 races.
He's the defending champ, and you always got to beat the champ to be the champ, right? 4 of the 5 wins this season have come on mile-and-a-halfs, Nicole. He'll start 10th today.
Absolutely, Vince. A couple other drivers we want to point out. We kind of refer to this day as a day that could be full of surprises. There were a few surprises in qualifying. Look at Kenny Wallace. He is starting 4th. Johanna Long starts 9th. She has just 2 top 10 starting spots in her career. The other one was at Richmond, so this is the first time that team has qualified in the top 10 on a mile-and-a-half track. Danica Patrick is one of 9 double-duty drivers in this race, obviously nationwide today. Cup Series tomorrow. She will start 13th, and there are 3 women in the field. Johanna Long, obviously, Danica Patrick, and Jennifer Jo Cobb. What are some of the other stories that you're keeping an eye on today?
Really, from the young drivers and, again, the racetrack, I am really going to watch how soon these cars can get a lane and a half. And, the side-by-side racing might not come from the car trying to pass on the outside, but the inside car moving the car in front of them up that half a lane to get under them. That's what I'm going to be watching for.
I agree. There's a lot of inexperienced drivers in our field today. I'm going to be watching them get on and off of pit road, particularly coming off of 4. I think we're going to see some incidents here today, and I think we'll learn a lot, but I think there's going to be some struggles trying to get to pit road.
I think
very abrupt transition.
Yes. Yeah, I think one thing we're going to see today, too, is extremely fast cars and extremely slow cars. They're going to be way different from what we're accustomed to seeing. There's going to be fast guys, and the closure rate's really going to be extreme. I've talked to a lot of drivers that are concerned about the closure rate to the slow cars.
Let's, before we make your picks, so start thinking about who you think is going to win the race today. Let's go down and talk to the best of our top championship contenders, at least in qualifying. That is Austin Dillon, who was with Vince Welch.
Yeah, how about this impressive rookie, Austin Dillon, sitting 3rd in the points, 29 back. And now, Austin, break it down for us. So what do you need to do, and what needs to happen with Stenhouse and Sadler for you to win this championship?
I think they're going to have to make a little bit of a mistake, and we're just going to have to capitalize on it. We're going to try and win this race, win the next 3. We just got to go out max points race and try and do our best. That's what we've done all year long. We're good. The good thing is we're coming back to some of these tracks for the second time. We got a really good race car today. It's my favorite. We won 2 races with it earlier this year, so really looking forward to today. I think the track's widened out enough where we're going to be able to do some racing.
Hey, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Nicole starts on the front row. You heard him say it's his favorite race car, and he thinks they can start something today that maybe this team will be able to finish at Homestead.
And my apologies to Doc. That is clearly Dr. Jerry Punch and not Vince. Okay, gentlemen. Drum roll. Who wins today?
Okay, I'm picking Austin Dillon. Here's why. He's got a lot of self-induced pressure to win because he's 29 points behind. He's got to get it on. He's got to make no mistakes today, but he needs to win, so he's probably going to win because of the pressure.
I was born at night. It wasn't last night. Joey Logano wins today.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer either. Too sharp as a marble to be particular. I'm going to go with Joey Logano too.
Yeah, he's hard not to choose. We'll find out if these guys are right. Pre-race ceremonies, and when we come back, it is Marty Reed, Andy Petrie, and Dale Jarrett. Names are not going well for me today. They will tell us who they think has a leg up on this new track when we come back in just a second.
So, what does a racer like more? Being the hunter or the hunted? Some prefer to keep their eyes pointed up through the windshield. Others like to monitor the rear view mirror. No matter what position one likes or where he might find himself, there's one moment both must be ready for. That perfect, frightening instant when it's time to strike.
And the hunt continues under sunny skies at Kansas Speedway. No, it's not an African safari, but the bullets these guys fire have 8 cylinders in them, and they put out a lot of horsepower, and they're the 2 top contenders for this year's Nationwide Championship, and where they will start, Elliott Sadler and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. The big unknown today, it is the track. Vince Welch, bring us up to date.
Well, Marty, the NASCAR Nationwide Series has raced here at Kansas Speedway many times before, but the drivers have never raced on this track. That's right, the 1.5 miles has been repaved and the bankings and the turns have been reconfigured, providing a bad, fast, white-knuckled, take-your-breath-away racing service. Qualifying speeds easily broke the track record. It also has provided a racing groove that is very narrow, and that means every pass is going to be a test. The drivers today are going to have to conquer the racetrack, and they're also going to have to conquer their competitors.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remove your hats as the 4th Brigade 1st Infantry Division Color Guard from Fort Riley, Kansas presents our nation's colors. Please remain standing as Kansas City Raceway Ministries and pastor of Bethel Baptist Church in Lincoln, Nebraska, R.D. Fowler, offers today's invocation.
Race fans, join me in prayer. Father, we give thanks for this beautiful day for racing. We pray for the safeties of drivers, the crews. We pray they do their best. Father, we give thanks for our military, men and women, the wounded warriors. We ask you to bless them, bless their families, and God bless America. In Jesus' name, amen.
Here to perform our national anthem, please welcome wife of Lieutenant Colonel Barry Manley of the Kansas National Guard, Amber Manley.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets wrecked the land, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
What athlete doesn't like being on the street? When he hits every shot in the gym, when every pitch comes in looking big as a beach ball, or every lap on every track feels like riding on a freight train, a machine that can't be stopped. For the athlete on the street, there's nothing more beautiful. For the athletes trying to beat him, there's nothing more helpless.
He has been dominating, and think about this. On the repaved tracks, Joey won in Michigan in June. He won the reconfigured racetrack at Bristol in August. In Cup, he was first at Pocono after the repavement job there. Here's his numbers this year. In a minimum of 15 starts, he's second just behind Kyle Busch in single season win percentage. Let's talk to him, DJ.
Hey, Joey, it's Dale Jarrett. We were just showing the fans your incredible season, your win percentage. Just amazing what you've been able to accomplish in this race car. And as a former driver who never experienced anything like you're having in this season, I just wonder, do you wake up every day and hope that they've made it a nationwide race day?
Yeah, I'm very fortunate to have a great team like I got behind me with Adam Stevens leading the bunch. It's been a lot of fun. And I got another good Need for Speed GameStop data today. starting here on the front row, and hopefully we can stay out here. I got a good pit crew, and it's been working all year, so we're going to keep digging and try to get number 9 today.
Hey, Joe, I know a lot of talk's been about the racetrack, and then certainly it's going to change throughout the day, and that leads us to our mailbag question. And Mike in Philpott, Kentucky asked, what is it going to take for you to start driving up in the second groove on this new surface?
It seems like the sun has helped that a lot. You know, since we've been here, it's been overcast and very cold and windy. Today's the first day the sun's been out. The wind's been a lot less, and I just got done with cup practice here a few minutes ago, and it was moving up. So I would guess probably 50, 60 laps into this thing. You'll see guys up there maybe sooner than that even. So I feel like this hot temperature is really helping us move around. So I think it'll be a good race at a new track. So these tracks have been good for us in the past, so hopefully this will work out.
All right, man, thanks for talking with us. You have a great day. Now, there's always somebody that makes those cars go fast, and that's your crew chief, Adam Stevens, and he's going to talk to him.
10-4, thanks, guys.
Hey, Adam Stevens, Andy Petrie in the booth. How do you go about running a race and setting up for races? You really don't have any historical data to go from here today.
What a great question. I hope I'm an expert on that after today, but the key here, you know, with the new pavement and new tire combination for the Nationwide Series is just let the track come to you and see if the groove's going to widen out. You really have to go back to your baseline setup and kind of start there and have a game plan to work from there. And hopefully, as the groove widens out today, now that they're forcing us to go too wide here, you know, I think it'll widen out, and we'll give them a run for it.
Well, thanks, Adam. I feel like anything that happens today, you guys will be ready for it. Thanks for talking to us.
Thank you.
At the other end of the spectrum is Kyle Busch. Remember when he was racing for Joe Gibbs, setting all those records? Well, now in his own car, he is still looking for his first win behind the wheel of the 54, and he needs to get one if he wants to tie Mark Martin with 9 consecutive seasons with at least one nationwide win. Let's get more from Dave Burns.
And Marty, here's the great irony if Kyle should win today in the 54 car. It's not a car that they initially built at Kyle Busch Motorsports. It's the last in their inventory like that, and they had to go to it because Kyle crashed their primary car in practice on Thursday. He qualified this car 6th today, and they believe that they could win if they can get all the right brakes. One of the things that he'll have to contend with as well has already been mentioned, the narrow groove on this Kansas Speedway. Andy said you'll be able to pass on pit road early on, being very important. That'll put the spotlight on the pit crews. Mark Hollywood Armstrong changes rear tires for Kyle today. Hollywood, what is the focus going to be like on you guys today?
Dave, it's important that you mentioned that. Today in today's team meeting, we talked about, Mike Beam did, about how important it would be with pit stops today, with it being a very narrow groove on the racetrack and very difficult to pass. He talked to the tire changers about lug nut hits, about being sure you get them tight. He talked to the carriers, the jackmen, the gasmen to focus on their job at hand today. We know that Kyle's job is going to be very difficult on the racetrack today, but this monster crew is ready for those challenges on this pit road today, guys. Marty, to you.
Thank you, Hollywood. You guys be safe down there. All right, let's check in on all of our onboard cameras. We've got one with the number 2 of Elliott Sadler. He's got the Nationwide Insurance camera.
What is the blend line rule, Elliott? Is those dotted lines back there?
No, you do not have to wait till the dotted lines, but you do need to be on the back stretch.
Austin Dillon in the number 3. He's got the Chevy onboard camera. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. has the Nationwide Insurance on board. Danica Patrick with GoDaddy.com. We've already talked to Joey Logano, our in-race reporter. He's got the Toyota on board. And Ryan Blaney in the number 22 Dodge onboard camera.
All right, bud. We knew when the day started we were going to be passing some cars at this point. We got a good race car. I'm take care of it. Click them off one at a time. Gonna have awesome pit stops all day long. Get you some track position in here. I'll be there at the end.
Also, Justin Allgaier, the Goodyear onboard camera, and Michael Annette with the Ford EcoBoost onboard camera. Don't forget you can join the conversation on Twitter at NASCAR ESPN, #PitStudio. Pace car coming around. Lights are out. You can see that our pole sitter has selected the inside line. No brainstorm there. Needed this one groove. Pace car pulls off. A good crowd on hand today here at Kansas Speedway. We're about to find out how quickly that second group will come in. They make their way down towards the starting line. The Kansas Lottery 300 is green. One car sliding up towards the wall at the exit of turn 2. Looks like it is the 44, yes it is, of Hal Martin making his first nationwide start. Welcome to NASCAR.
Yeah, these starts are difficult enough as it is, but he was on the outside when he started there. Not going to be much grip up in that part of the racetrack yet.
You saw 3 cars go down below the white line. That is legal. On board right there with Ricky Stenhouse Jr. So Joey Logano, as expected, got out in front. Brian Scott second. Austin Dillon is third.
Yeah, most of the cars seem tentative to try to get up in that upper lane, but Kyle Busch was actually making some passes up there.
And I worried about Stenhouse starting 10th in that outside, but he was able to get himself to the bottom, but losing that spot now.
They have not been happy with that race car all weekend long. He's trying to hang on against Cole Witt in the 88, the 43 of Michael Annett.
Yeah, this is going to show us just how much you're going to be able to do up there. I think if you're going to make passes, you're going to try to do it on the inside. If you get pushed up there, you might push the limit just a little bit, trying to keep that car down where they can't advance as much as you think they will, and then you can get back in line.
Joey Logano opening up about a 3-car length lead now over Brian Scott. There you see Elliott Sadler in 5th. And Ricky Stenhouse Jr. farther back.
Yeah, boy, Stenhouse really struggling with his race car. You can see his back end kick out on the exit of turn 2. He's going to lose a spot to Michael Annett right there.
Michael Annett moved into the top 5 in the points last weekend at the expense of Justin Allgaier when Allgaier had that crash with Sam Hornish Jr. Top 5. The reason it's so important, it's the top 5 to get to speak at the year-end banquet.
Yeah, Michael Annett's done a really good job with this race team all year long. They just showed a lot of progress throughout the year and just doing a fantastic job.
And he's opening up a little ground on the 6 of Ricky Stenhouse. So Stenhouse still having some issues, and there he is wiggling again.
Yeah, wiggling again. And you see right behind him is Johanna Long, who had a nice qualifying effort. Ben Barton very solid here.
Grip really loose, tight into 3.
Yeah, notice he's not able to keep his car down as he tries to get to the corner. And 3 has been something that we've heard the Sprint Cup drivers today talk about as they got out for practice.
Yeah, it seems like that's the little tricky part of the racetrack. As the sun has gotten on it, it seems like right there on that entry is where people struggle just a little bit with getting loose. You can see right there with Stenhouse being a little tentative about steering wheel.
We can tell you that Chase Miller and Jeff Green have both gone behind the wall right now. Get our first look at Sam Hornish Jr.
I don't know if we got a right rear tire that's slow or a slow leak or what, but it just feels like I got no support getting into the corner.
So he's talking about a right rear possibly going down. He's running 12th right now. And boy, it looks like he's got his hands full.
Yeah, I can see what he's talking about, but he's able to keep pace, at least with Kenny Wallace right now. And it's hard to say whether he's got a tire going down. He might just be a little bit loose, and it feels that way.
Well, remember, it was Sam Hornish Jr. that won at the newly reconfigured track last year at Phoenix in the nationwide race. Coming back towards the front now, Joey Logano. You can see that he continues to stretch his lead. But this last time by, the fastest car was Paul Menard, who is now in 4th place.
About Brian Scott up there in the 2nd spot. Good qualifying effort, but took that 2nd spot from Austin Dillon on the start of the race and has held right there. Really been really close to Logano's bumper for quite a bit.
His career best has been 3rd 3 times, so Brian, of course, the word is he will not be back in this ride next year. Hasn't been confirmed by anyone, but that's what he has basically told us, that he didn't think he was going to be back. Now Sam Hornish side by side with the 99, Kenny Wallace. Give him the position.
Looks like that car may be coming to Sam a little bit. See Kenny Wallace right there in the shot. He started 4th on that outside, and he lost quite a few spots. I think he just loses another one, slipped back to 12th.
Well, Dave, what's the latest on that 99?
Bad push. That is a car that will not turn the corners, and that's what Kenny reported about lap 2. and it's been going backwards ever since.
Yeah, that could help maybe help you understand why he qualified so good with a tight race car. That'll help you get up to speed and get going. You can utilize that to make some fast laps, but then you get in race conditions, that's not going to be very beneficial.
But he was also good in practice yesterday, but again, we got to remember it was much colder and much windier.
Yeah, I think this is a totally different racetrack. If we could hear a lot of radios and drivers talking, I'm sure that if they could take their hands off the wheel for a second, because I'm pretty sure they've got a pretty tough grip on it right now, but they'd be talking about how different it is today.
J.J. Yaley has pulled behind the wall as you watch Austin Dillon had to get out of it a little bit, loses a little ground on the 11 of Brian Scott.
Yeah, these top three cars are running virtually the exact same lap times. You can see how close they are together. Joey Logano not able to pull away from these cars.
Joey dominated. If you weren't with us for practice yesterday, I mean, he literally had a grin on his face because he knew just how good a race car he had.
Yeah, somebody that's got a grin on their face right now is Paul Menard. He's actually has reeled these cars in, these top three.
And Austin Dillon is coming back, closing on the 11.
Yeah, and I think Austin Dillon has a faster car than Brian Scott right now, but you're not going to take a chance of going to the outside.
Let's go back deeper in the field. This is the battle for 16th.
Yeah, I've been watching these guys some after winter here and just noticing this. They've been racing hard, but their passes have all been to the inside, getting up on the bumper, getting someone loose, getting into the corner, and then shooting the nose underneath them in the center.
Now remember, Ryan Blaney, who is in that 16th position, started 27th. So a good run so far for Blaney as he's found a way to squeeze by these people.
Yeah, I've been pretty impressed with Blaney all year. His qualifying efforts, though, have been a little bit subpar. I think that's going to be one of the things he'll need to work on as he moves forward in this series.
Coming up on some lap traffic, this could get real interesting. Joey Logano, oh, and a spin!
I think there might have been some contact there.
Lock down.
The 11 goes around.
All right, clear the apron. Clear the apron.
Stays on the track now on the apron. And Brian Scott is going to have to come down pit road and get rid of all the sod.
You have to do it pretty quick, too, because that'll make that engine run hot in a hurry.
I don't see any damage on the fender, but I think you're right, and I think he could have gotten a little help there. I'm going to check it to make sure.
I just have to believe that maybe him being behind Logano, he couldn't see exactly everything unfolding here. You can see this. Let's see if Austin Dillon couldn't see up there, and maybe, no, he just loses it. Yeah, it looked like he just tried to turn down and lost it there. So my apologies to Austin Dillon.
Here's another look. No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Not even close from that angle.
Looked like his car was just maybe tight and it was drifting up on the exit in the gas, and as he gave it some wheel, it just came around.
Get a good look from Austin Dillon's car.
One's flowing in the middle. Just watch him.
Oh, yeah.
Down the bottom. Down the bottom. Come on. Come on with it. Come on. Keep coming.
So a tough break for Brian Scott, who was running strong early, and he is making his way down pit road. Doc?
Yeah, he came on the radio after he spun and said, guys, I'm sorry, I just hit an air pocket there, and suddenly the car just jumped sideways on me. I had no contact, so he's going to come down and get that grass off the grill you guys were mentioning. Go ahead and put 4 tires in it, and they got to tighten him up. He had complained that the car was free, very, very free in 3 and 4, so now they're putting left side tires on, and we'll get it completely full of Sunoco fuel.
Well, they can take their time because the field is just on the backstretch. Get that good and clean because you don't want that to overheat. So Brian Scott, none the worse for wear, just loses a lot of track position. He'll have to come back out and start at the back of the field. 4 cars are now off the track. We mentioned Yaley, Jeff Green, Chase Miller, and also the 74 of Mike Harmon. They're all behind the wall. Biggest movers of the race, Mike Wallace. He had to go to the rear because of unapproved changes after the qualifying at impound. And he has picked up 17 spots now. Finds himself running 26, so a good recovery for Mike Wallace. Ryan Blaney second on that list. He has picked up 12 spots. Now, obviously, we're under caution here, and yesterday, if you were with us, getting onto pit road, especially under green conditions, was a bit of a challenge.
And one of the things here with the new repave is the seam between the racetrack and the apron. You can see the apron just being completely flat. A big-time transition as you come off the track right there, pretty abrupt.
In fact, Sam Horner Jr. didn't quite make it, DJ.
Yeah, see, he was trying to get in there, just see how hot he could get there. And the drivers have told me if they can get further around the corner, it's a little bit less of an impact there. And that's what Sam was trying to do, but you're going to have to get slowed down.
And the danger is that puts you closer to that commitment cone. And that's what happened to Sam as he was practicing it. We saw a lot of that in Cup practice today also, guys, working on that for tomorrow's race. And I guarantee you, I know our rating will be at least 43 viewers. All 43 drivers in tomorrow's race are watching this one. So it looks like some cars may take advantage of this caution. We'll find out in a matter of moments. Well, and we want to welcome everybody who is watching Texas A&M and LSU. And we have just gone through our first caution. We're 16 laps into our 200-lap race. Joey Logano started on pole and is still out in front. He has led all 16 laps. Austin Dillon started second. He is in second place right now. We have several cars now taking advantage as they come down for tires and adjustments, including Danica Patrick. Let's check in with Vince Welch.
The 6 car of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. This is a brand new race car that they brought in for this race. They're looking to run it at Homestead as well, but it's just been 2 free in to start this race. Fuel only with a chassis adjustment for Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Ricky asked crew chief Mike Kelly, do I come even if everybody else stays out? He said, yeah, we got to make it better.
All right, thank you, Vince. Several cars making adjustments. The reason for the caution was Brian Scott running second, spun, coming out of turn number 4. And it looked like for a moment he might have had contact, but you'll see from this angle there was no contact with the 3. It was just everybody checking up. He gets loose, does a little bit of agricultural racing, gets a grill full of grass. And
well, we just talked about in the show when we started the show how this closing rate was going to be an issue, and we saw those really slow cars right in front of the leaders, kind of up on the groove. So I think that would have had a lot to do with it.
All right, so we want to remind everybody that's been watching us on ESPN News, you need to switch over now to ESPN for our continued coverage of today's nationwide race. We're going to step aside for a quick break because this caution is still ongoing here at the Kansas Speedway. Well, and we want to welcome everybody who is watching Texas A&M and LSU, and we have just gone through our first caution. We're 16 laps into our 200-lap race. Joey Logano started on pole and is still out in front. He has led all 16 laps. Austin Dillon started second. He is in second place right now. We have several cars now taking advantage as they come down for tires and adjustments, including Danica Patrick. Let's check in with Vince Welch.
The 6 car of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. This is a brand new race car that they brought in for this race. They're looking to run it at Homestead as well, but it's just been 2 free in to start this race. Fuel only with a chassis adjustment for Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Ricky asked crew chief Mike Kelly, do I come even if everybody else stays out? He said, yeah, we got to make it better.
All right, thank you, Vince. Several cars making adjustments. The reason for the caution was Brian Scott running second, spun, coming out of turn number 4. It looked like for a moment he might have had contact, but you'll see from this angle there was no contact with the 3. It was just everybody checking up. He gets loose, does a little bit of agricultural racing, gets a grill full of grass. And
well, we just talked about in the show when we started the show how this closing rate was going to be an issue, and we saw those really slow cars right in front of the leaders, kind of up on the groove. So I think that would have had a lot to do with it.
All right, so we want to remind everybody that's been watching us on ESPN News, you need to switch over now to ESPN for our continued coverage of today's nationwide race. We're going to step aside for a quick break because this caution is still ongoing here at the Kansas Speedway. Kansas City, if you get on I-70 and head east from the racetrack here, you'll run right through town as we are knocked down 18 of 200 laps here at the Kansas Lottery 300 in the newly reconfigured Kansas Speedway. And we're under our first caution as a spin with 11 of Brian Scott. Joey Logano, as we mentioned, for everybody now switched over to ESPN, is our race leader. He's led all 19 laps now. Total of 6 cars are behind the wall. And we can tell you that the number 24 of Derek White gets the free pass. So that means we now have a total of 35 cars on the lead lap. And this is interesting. Joey Logano has now selected the high side for this restart.
The only reason I can think that he'd do that is just to show him that he can. I don't know. He had moved up the racetrack a little bit, but I'm not sure. Unless it's something to do with getting started here on the front straightaway from that outside, and he expects to clear whoever it is on the inside before they get to turn 1.
Okay, so let's reset it for you. It's Joey Logano, our pole sitter, on the outside, driver's right. Austin Dillon right beside him. Then in row number 2, Elliott Sadler, the points leader. Paul Menard had a strong car early. Kyle Busch looking for his first win in the 54 this year, alongside with Cole Witt. Good run going so far for Cole. Michael Annett 5th in the points, and Johanna Long. And a really good run for her early. Sam Hornish Jr. and Kenny Wallace round out row number 5. Pace car pulls off. Heading for the starting zone. Green flag flies. We're racing again at Kansas. An old problem surfaced for the number 3 car. Austin Dillon gets a sluggish restart.
He didn't get the best restart, but he got a good run through 1 and 2.
He did manage to hold on to that second spot. You can see side-by-side action there for 3rd. That's Elliott Sadler on the high side. The 33 underneath is Paul Menard.
Yeah, and just behind them, Kyle Busch really had a problem. He was on the bottom. I don't know if he got loose down in turn 3, but Michael Annett's been able to get up beside him, trying to take that spot away.
Deeper in the pack, you saw it was 3 wide there for a while. Look at Johanna Long in the 70, high side. Whoa, and Sam Hornish gets real loose, makes a nice save. Doesn't collect Ryan Blaney, his teammate, right behind him.
Yeah, that's kind of what we've expected to see up in this second group. Hornish sideways again.
Sam is really loose.
He complained about being loose in that first run right from the very beginning of the race, but it looked like his car got better as the air pressure built up.
That thing's almost uncontrollable, though, when the tires are cold, looks like.
Well, we are in cattle country, and if this was a rodeo, he is on a mean bull right now. Back and show you exactly what happened, Sam, as he is heading through 2.
Yeah, this is just a lane and a half up, so I'm not sure that's the racetrack situation right there. Could just be this hard tire that they have to run, and it has cooled down some, and just looks like Sam's car is set up extremely loose, especially on these restarts.
Nice move by Ryan Blaney as well to slide up behind him and not run through him. Here's your top 3. As they continue with Joey Logano, he's led every lap so far. Paul Menard in that 3rd spot. They pulled away from 4th, which is Elliott Sadler. 5th is Cole Witt. We can tell you the 51 of Jeremy Clements has pulled down pit road. He was running 12th. It's his 100th career start in the series. And this is not good. He's heading for the garage area.
Yeah, something happened to him. He was right in the middle of traffic when his car just basically laid down. I think it was Sam Hornish that did a good job to miss him.
We're hearing he has lost an engine. We can also tell you the 00 Blake Cook has gone behind the wall. On board here with Joey Logano. Let's get an update on that race leader. How about it, Vince Welch?
Well, Marty, Joey was fastest in that final practice by a 1/10.5, and some thought maybe he was going to stink up the show here today. But right now, and from the start of this race, his car has been plowing tight. In fact, they gave some consideration to Cumming during that first yellow, but crew chief Adam Stevens said, not in our window yet. Stay out there and deal with it. He says that Austin Dillon a little bit better than him in 1 and 2. Joey holding on in 3 and 4. But right now, the car certainly not as good as what they had in practice, and not as good as Joey would like to have for sure.
Yeah, but that's a scary thought. You got a car that you're not really happy with, and you're still leading the race.
Yeah, but he's having a hard time holding these guys back. You can see he's moved up the racetrack with this tighter race car and seeing if he can make that work a little bit to make a little bit more speed.
Yeah, we saw the same thing with him last week at Charlotte. It looked like he wasn't that good. He wasn't terrible, but he wasn't great. Moved up the racetrack a little bit and took off. So maybe he's taking a page out of that book. Got to sneak his way up there today, though.
Yeah, he's just going to have to make it an easy progression here in these next 175 laps.
He's going to give it a go, though. You can see he's leaving the car up there about a lane. Just to be able to hold on pretty good.
Now, I'd have to say that the practice that he had in the Sprint Cup car before this race probably gave him an idea that lane where he's running right there was something that he can do if he really needed to. They wouldn't have dare ventured out there yesterday.
Joey will start 8th in tomorrow's Cup race, and he is going to get a wealth of information out of this one today, that's for sure. As he is still leading, even though he's got a race car that isn't as good as it was yesterday in practice. Under our second caution, Australian Scott Saunders tagged the wall. You can see the damage on the back of his 08. Let's take another look. Show you exactly what happened.
Looks like it basically just got out from under him. Got up and tagged the wall with the rear clip.
Not a great way to celebrate a birthday. Scott had a birthday that on Wednesday turned 24. And not going to be a big celebration.
Yeah. When these cars with these hard tires on this surface, even though we talk about a lot of grip, with the tire being that hard, when it starts to step out from you, it's really hard to catch the car. And especially with these drivers that don't have a lot of experience with these type cars and tires.
You see the crew is out on the track. Get up all the debris. And it looks like we've got everybody taking advantage of this second caution as we're 33 laps into this 200-lap event. Led by Joey Logano, we'll send it first to Dave Burns.
Kyle Busch has the 6th position. That's one worse than where he started. He'll take on just 2 right side tires for track position. Big track bar adjustment. Car way too loose.
And below him, points leader Elliott Sadler. They just made a change, and we're going to go 4 tires. Now they're going to go 2 right sides only. Air pressure change. Car loose in, tight in the middle. Vince.
Austin Dillon, upper right-hand portion of your screen, says the car is good. It's a 2-tire change, giving Sunoco fuel as well. And then for the 18 of Joey Logano, plowing tight, 4 tires, a rubber in the right rear, and a chassis adjustment with Sunoco fuel.
A lot of strategy here in the 2-tire changes. And look at Danica Patrick, no tires, picks up 8 spots, comes out 4th on the list. Brian Scott, after the early spin, picks up 11 here. Joey Logano, the big loser, because he took 4. He drops 7 from where he came in. Let's go over the wall with Mark Hollywood Armstrong on that 54 car as Kyle Busch made his stop.
Come on, boys. Let's get this a little bit now. Come on. Yeah! Whoa! Come on, baby. Go!
Well, you want to see what a interliner does? That's when the outer tire goes boom, boom, like those two just did. Oh, what great photography. What a bad break, though, for the 08 of Scott Saunders. Make sure to go to NASCAR.com for all your latest NASCAR information. After 35 of 200 laps, it is still a great race going as we want to talk a little college football. Tonight on ABC's Saturday Night Football, many will see ACC rivals clash as Jimbo Fisher's well-balanced offense and Stingy D lead the Seminoles into hostile territory against the Hurricanes. Now others will see Baylor battle Mack Brown's 25th ranked Longhorns. It's Saturday Night Football. It's presented by Windows 8. And 14th, Florida State versus Miami, or Baylor versus 25th rated Texas. Tonight at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ABC and ESPN3. All right, the 41 car Nur Ali gets the free pass, gets back on the lead lap. And let's listen in on his radio because this is his first nationwide race.
Here's the thing: is listen very carefully. I mean, actually, you got going a little bit better, and I'm proud of you. But when the leaders come up and start passing you, We're going too slow.
Okay, 10-4. I got to pick up the speed when the leaders are passing me. Understood. 10-4.
So wait till they get there and then go.
I hope there's more conversation we didn't hear. No, he doesn't have this exactly. Need to pick the speed up before they get there. That could be big if he's going to wait till they get there.
Nur has raced in 12 different countries. This is his first nationwide event. Had an incident yesterday entering pit road. Now, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. was 14th, decided to stay out. Now, remember, he pitted back on lap 17 on the first caution. So he is our race leader, has selected the inside. Paul Menard is second, Elliott Sadler third, Austin Dillon fourth, and Danica Patrick rounds out your top 5. They're in the restart zone. The green flag waves. Here we go. Much better restart for Austin Dillon this time. He stayed right on the 33. And everybody's making it through on that second groove, guys.
Yeah, looks like that outside lane really carried some momentum through turns 1 and 2. Let's see what happens here in 3. Austin Dillon wasn't quite sure what to expect there.
Well, Paul Menard wasn't scared. He drove that thing in there and took the front spot away.
And give Menard the race lead. He'll be our third different leader. As you see, a great battle. Look at the 54. Kyle Busch going down on the apron to pick up a couple of spots. He's going underneath the 3 right now of Austin Dillon. So Dillon finds himself shoved back to 5th. So it's Menard, then Stenhouse, Elliott Sadler, Kyle Busch. Now Joey Logano is shown in 5th.
Now, Joey Logano's going to see what his car's like in traffic. Now, it was pretty good, or at least decent when he was out front, but it's going to be a little different back in traffic.
Battle for 7th between the 2 former IndyCar stars. Danica Patrick in the 7, trying to hold off Sam Hornish Jr., the 3-time champion.
Yeah, she got no tires on that stop, so just came in for some fuel, doing a nice job.
Whoa!
They're in trouble.
Brian Scott going around for the 2nd time. It is our 3rd caution.
Keep it rolling. You're all right.
And again, I do not see any contact, guys.
And he still hadn't hit anything. Wow. That's a couple of pretty spectacular spins not to have made any contact.
He was running
no damage here. Just feel out your tires here,
He's running through the tires pretty quick, though.
All right, let's go back and see if we can figure it out again. No, he's just
again. It looks like there was just little or no contact.
Look at the job Blaney does to avoid him.
That's incredible.
All right, on board with Ryan.
Tight. Real tight. Big opening behind him. Big open. Clear pie. Clear pie. Clear pie. Inside. 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 Outside. Clear high.
Looked like there was no contact initially. I'm not sure if there was some as he was spinning.
Yeah, it doesn't really look like it. Ryan Blaney does a really nice job. So easy just to panic in that situation. Either slam on the brakes and get yourself in it or drive to the left and possibly create a bad situation.
We definitely saw daylight that time. No contact, but it looked like there, too, the 22 saw some smoke coming off of his tires. We see flat tires on Brian Scott's, but I think yet Blaney may have to come down pit road and have his tires looked at. He may have some flat spots. Doc, 11's in.
Yeah, no damage, Andy, but it's going to put 4 tires on. Here's what they told me prior to the race. Today in this 11 car, the Joe Gibbs Racing team is trying a totally experimental setup, totally different than what the 18 has with Joey Logano. They wanted to try it. They couldn't put it on Logano because they're trying to win the owner's title in the 18 car. Put on the 11 car, very fast in practice, fast in qualifying. But right now when the race began, Brian Scott said there's no grip at all, the right rear. It is moving around, and you saw it go around again there coming off the corner.
Well, they better stop experimenting. They're going to run out of tires. Stay with us. When we come back, we'll reset the field for you. Get back to Green Flag Racing. Third caution just about to conclude. 42 laps completed here at the Nationwide Series event at Kansas Speedway. Our in-race reporter, Joey Logano, started on pole. He's now running in 6th. Let's talk to him, DJ.
Hey, Joey, Dale Jarrett, you with us?
10-4, I got you.
All right, man. A little over 40 laps into this thing. Give us your impressions of this racetrack now.
It's pretty good. I've been moving up the racetrack and helping my car for what my balance is doing at least. So trying different things, trying to make a notebook for the end of this thing. So we took 4 tires there, so we're trying to work our way back up through the field. But got a good game stop car here, so with that to get through the traffic and try to get back up there.
Okay, good luck in that. Thanks for talking.
Thanks, guys.
All right, let's go back to what brought out this third caution, the spin by the 11 of Brian Scott, his second of the day. And as you heard from pit road, they are running a new experimental setup, and it's not giving them the kind of results they wanted. And it never any contact between the 22 or the 11. And after this incident cleared, here's the 22 radio of Ryan Blaney.
You just push up into him? I mean, he was hanging on my frickin' door. I got a little bit loose into him. Copy.
Well, from our vantage point, I didn't see any contact whatsoever.
Jamie, what are you hearing from the 22 pit?
Well, and that conversation continued, and the team said, Ryan, was there any contact? He wasn't sure, but they watched our replays as a team. They said, no, you never touched him. So you see, the car is free and clear. He's saying it's neutral. He's running 10th right now, Marty.
Well, there's one thing I did see there. I thought I saw smoke coming off the front tires for the 22 when he was trying to avoid Brian Scott. We'll see if he has flat spotted tires when he goes back green.
Let's reset it for you. Noor Ali is going to get the free pass as he gets back on the lead lap. 31 cars, I should say 32 on the lead lap right now. Our race leader is Paul Menard. He has selected the high side. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. right alongside. Then Elliott Sadler, Kyle Busch. Austin Dillon is 5th. Joey Logano 6th. Danica Patrick, Sam Hornish, Kenny Wallace, and Ryan Blaney from 27th is in the top 10. Green flag's out. Here we go.
Stenhouse is even better this time when he wasn't the one actually starting the race.
Second in the points is ahead of first in the points. And all of a sudden, Ricky Stenhouse Jr.'s car has found new life. It's Paul Menard in second. Tucking in behind him, the 2 of Elliott Sadler.
I think that second groove's coming in quite nicely. That right there with Paul Menard just able to use that high lane to make the pass.
Saw deeper back that 12 car using the apron again, Sam Hornish Jr. He picked up a couple of spots. Down the back stretch. Pretty much single file until we get to that group. The 88 of Cole Witt, the 22 of Ryan Blaney, they were side by side when we had the spin.
Cole Witt's one that seems to have a really good race car here today also. Changes have been made over in that organization. They seem to be helping Danica and Cole both.
You know, guys, we've seen quite a few guys go down on that apron. What's the real advantage, DJ?
I mean, you might get a run and you get a pull from the draft part of it, but you just shorten everything through the tri-oval most of the time, and you can make a pass most of the time with that.
And one of the things that you can do there is you can get the advantage and get underneath somebody and have the lane.
Crash in turn 4. The 39 car has hit the wall. Dexter Stacy, and we have our 4th caution of the day. And that probably came at a good time for Ryan Blaney because he had just lost about 3 spots while we were on that group. Now, Stacy was running 22nd at the time of his incident. Here's what happened all by himself.
Yeah, that's up in no man's land so far. That's going to be a good place to race up there where they put that progressive banking. See, pretty hard hit there, but that racetrack's not ready to be up there going at speed yet. Had a little problem over there during qualifying also in the same spot.
He's on the gas there, but he already had contact.
Pretty cool shot, though.
Yeah.
Well, he wasn't going to get to do the burnout for a victory, so he keep it going there.
Our 4th caution here at the Kansas Speedway. Waiting for the crews. It looks like they're having a little difficulty getting the car. I guess they couldn't get it out of gear, and I guess they're going to have to reach in and put it on the hook. Still waiting for Dexter to get out as well. It looks like he's okay. I mean, there doesn't seem to be any sense of urgency by any of the safety workers.
No, it looked like maybe he thought that he could possibly just ride in the car as they took it back to the garage area. That's not the way it works here, though. You have to get out and take the ambulance in.
Well, as you can see, pit road is closed, so we'll step aside for a quick break here at the Kansas Speedway.
Back at the NASCAR Nationwide Series race at Kansas, and of course the big story has been the racetrack and the repave and the reconfiguration, and also Joey Logano going for his third straight win in the Nationwide Series. Right now his race car a little bit too tight through the center and on exit. Could be some Sunoco fuel and a chassis adjustment. Only one of the front runners to come down during this yellow. Marty?
Joey, of course, looking to win 3 times at Kansas. The only 2-time winner here at this track in the 11 prior years the event has been run. And of course, he's looking to go for 3 in a row this season in the Nationwide Series. And we can tell you that the driver of the 39, Dexter Stacy, did eventually get out of the car as we went to commercial break, and he seems to be in A-OK condition. As he'll take the ride to the infield care center, and we'll get an update if anything changes on that. Here at the Kansas Lottery 300, fans, remember to check out Race Buddy. It's enhanced coverage for select Nationwide Series events with more cameras than ever. Just log on to NASCARNationwideSeries.com/RaceBuddy.
Well, it's been an action-packed race 1 at this newly repaved Kansas Speedway, starting with Brian Scott in the 11. Not just 1 spin, Rusty, but 2.
Yeah, he's had 2 spins today. Nobody's touched him whatsoever. He's just got really loose and spun the car out. Here he goes the second time. Ryan Blaney does a great job. Doesn't hit Scott, but real loose today.
A lot of loose cars out there.
Yeah, there's a lot of loose race cars, and the guys are really taking their time, trying to figure out the best way to get the horsepower down to the racetrack, trying to get up in that second groove. We see a lot of aero push, so yeah, it's been a tough day adjusting, but everyone's doing a good job, I think.
We were hoping that the outside lane would come into play. Joey Logano certainly thinks it works. He started on the outside in one of the earlier restarts.
Yeah, absolutely, and he's not the only one that we see out there. As a leader, he was moving the groove up, and now we've seen quite a lot of passing.
A lot of strategy being played out. Who do you think looks good early on?
Well, I've got to tell you, I thought Logano looked good early on, but now he's pitted, gotten back in traffic, and not moving forward. So, I'm looking at Paul Menard. Very strong.
And we're getting ready to go back green. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. out front, Marty.
And thank you, Nicole. You're right, Stenhouse alongside of Menard. Menard has finished second twice in 6 starts in 2012. He's been the top 8 all 6 races he's been in. There is your race leader on the inside. 31 cars on the lead lap. Here we go. Side by side down the backstretch. Look at this 2-wide racing.
Well, Stenhouse was ready. He tried to force Menard to get out of the throttle by going in a little bit wide that time. Menard wasn't having any of it and still drove around.
Menard kept the hammer down, and he's got the race lead by a half a car length. You have second, third, and first in the points running 2, 3, and 4 on the track. Sam Hornish in that yellow number 12 got a little loose again. He's got the 99 of Kenny Wallace underneath him. Justin Allgaier and Cole Witt right behind. Here's Allgaier's view. Sam manages to clear. Allgaier, while he was trying to handle Cole Witt, gets passed by Danica Patrick. Here comes Ryan Blaney.
Yeah, it was a little contact, but Allgaier had to jump out of the throttle for just a minute. Allowed Danica to go by. Blaney not able to take advantage.
That's Michael Annett. You heard him have to breathe the throttle. Well, got a spin on the backstretch. Hard into the wall is the 11 of Brian Scott. The third time. Whoa, almost collected. The 13 of Jennifer Brown. So our 5th caution of the day is now out.
And Brian Scott didn't get away with it this time.
Take it to the garage. We've got enough damage here when you go to the garage.
3 of the 5 cautions have been brought out by the 11. And you're right, this one, the most severe of the 3, Andy. Let's see if we can see what happened this time.
Yeah, you can see he just gets away from him once again, coming off the turn 2. Instead of spinning down, this time it goes up against the back straightaway wall. Everyone else does a nice job of avoiding. Whoa, that was close right there.
And there you see the 11 heading back towards the garage area. A frustrating day for the team and Brian Scott. So our 5th caution of the day. We've run 20 laps of the 57 we've run so far under caution. Pits are open and the race leader is coming down, but Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is staying out again, perhaps.
Yeah, and Stenhouse last pitted on lap 17, so I don't know why he decided not to come down, but here comes Kyle Busch, Dave.
Yeah, he's going to get that 5th position up on the track right now. They'll take on, it looks like this time perhaps 4, and nope, they're going to stay with the 2-tire strategy. Leave the lefts on again, Doc.
And for the 2 car, they're going to go left side this time. They went right side the first stop, topping off with Sunoco fuel. He is away. Vince.
The 3 of Austin Dillon, left sides only. The 33 of Paul Menard, they took right sides on the first stop. They took left sides this time.
And you can see Paul Menard comes out, followed by Austin Dillon, Elliott Sadler. On down through the line. As we'll set and reset everything. There is the race off pit road. And you can see how the first 5 took 2. Then Annett, Bliss, Nemechek, Mike Wallace start in the back of the field and has now worked his way into the top 10. Good job for Mike in the 01. Jamie has caught up with the driver of the 39, Dexter Stacy.
And he was the reason for the previous caution. So we're seeing a lot of spins so far. How are the race conditions right now?
They're a little rough. The second group's slowly coming in, and people keep trying, and they just keep losing it like I did. So it's not that bad.
So that's exactly what happened to you. You just try in the second groove.
Yeah, and I just pushed up and hit the marbles, and it just spun me right around.
All right, glad to see you're okay, and we'll see him back in the car at Phoenix, Marty.
Okay, thank you, Jamie. While we've got a moment, let's talk about the motorsports calendar coming up, because obviously 1 o'clock Eastern tomorrow, race number 6 in the chase for the Sprint Cup. It's presented by Ram. It's on ESPN. And then the American Le Mans series, the Petit Le Mans, presented by Mazda at 1 Eastern tomorrow on ABC. And the Nationwide Series takes a week off, so November 3rd is our next stop at Texas, 7 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN. Okay, while we're getting ready here to get back into this, let's talk a little bit about Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Did not pit again. His last pit stop was on lap number 17. Do you like this strategy, Cruiser?
No, I think he should have pitted right there. I'm not sure why they didn't. I mean, it's been 41 laps since they last were on pit road, so they can only go, and I know we've had a lot of cautions, so they can go probably 20 couple laps here before they go, but I'm kind of wondering about this strategy at this point. It worked good when they did it the first time, and he got the lead and got the track position. But
and you can see he's saving fuel as he shuts it off and seeing how far they can stretch it here. The top 11 that are on the track right now did stay out. And let's check in with Vince Welch. He is with Ricky Stenhouse's crew chief.
And that's Mike Kelly. And Mike, you guys last pitted on lap 17. Just the thoughts behind staying out again here.
We're just seeing how much track position's worth right now. We haven't seen a green flag run in a while, so just keep the car up front, trying to leave as many laps as we can, trying to get most points we can today.
You've had some time up front. You've had some time back in the pack. How's the car handling in traffic?
It's way better when it's out front. That's why we're trying to keep it out there the best we can.
Thanks, Mike. Marty?
Well, he has led a total of 13 laps so far. Joey Logano has led the most at 34. Paul Menard has led a total of 12. So as we get ready to reset it here, it'll be Stenhouse on the inside, Kenny Wallace alongside, then Colwitt, Danica Patrick fourth, and Justin Allgaier rounds out your top 5 with Scott Lagasse Jr. in 6th. So some new faces because they stayed out in the top 10.
Yeah, this could get pretty interesting on this restart here.
Going to try it 3 wide, deeper in the field. Whoa, spin by, no, he saves it. What a nice save by Scott Lagasse Jr. It looked like he was going around for sure. We stay green.
Yeah, that was right in front of points leader Elliott Sadler, who had to really check up, lost a couple more spots.
Let's go back and show you just how close this was. I think you're going to be able to read the side panels of this car.
You can see Allgaier racing really hard on the outside. Looks like took just enough air off of Scott Lagasse's spoiler and right side to get him around.
That was right in front of Logano. Look at our points leader right there. There's Austin Dillon. That could have been a mess for not only Scott Lagasse, but the championship contenders.
There you go. Come on, come on.
What a great save. Joanna Long got around it as well. You see her there in the 70. So a nice recovery by Scott Lagasse. Meanwhile, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. still continues to lead, but there may be some damage on the 54, we're being told. Let's see. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah,
there it is. All right, keep an eye on the 54.
You can see everybody kind of gets jammed up back there. Oh gosh. Yeah, you can see Kyle really got it coming off 4.
So Kyle, who's looking to win his first race in his own car. He was 11th at the time of the spin. He's side by side right now with Ryan Blaney. Here's the battle for 9th between Sam Hornish Jr. and Austin Dillon. Johanna Long in another good run right in front of him. You know, last time we saw Johanna in that 70 car, she finished 12th. A best for the season.
A little wiggle there by Sam Hornish. Looked like he was going to be able to maybe take that spot from that outside. We've seen a lot of side-by-side racing here, which is very encouraging. I know the drivers like that. And it actually looked like the inside pass is becoming very, very difficult. Elliott Sadler back here having a really hard time right now changing those left side tires on that car.
Got passed by Kyle Busch. Here comes Ryan Blaney. So the 2 car going in the wrong direction.
Kyle Busch up there with that car with damage, still running pretty fast, able to make the pass and move on. Speaking of moving on, here goes Paul Menard.
Paul Menard and the 31 of Justin Allgaier. So Menard move him into that 4th position. Now the way things stack up because of Stenhouse staying out, look how big a swing we would have in the points from -13 to +5 for Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Now, don't forget, we got 134 laps to go, but it just gives you an idea how one strategic move can affect the outcome of the race.
The problem that the 6th is going to possibly have, I would think, would be maybe having to make a green flag pit stop.
Well, we haven't seen a very long run yet.
Not yet. But we have to know it's coming at some point in time today.
Danica Patrick giving Joey Logano all he wants right now, as that's a battle for 6th on the track.
Really seeing the car on the inside having difficult times here on entries to these corners. They're getting extremely loose. That's not allowing them to carry the speed and make passes on the inside.
Now, Danica did not look all that great during practice yesterday, but right now running 7th. There you see the 3 of Austin Dillon and the 12 of Sam Hornish Jr. right behind her.
Yeah, we've seen some of Danica's best runs on tracks like this with a lot of grip.
Trouble over in 3.
Got it spinning. Car into the wall, the 41 of Nur Ali.
Now go to the bottom. Nothing else coming. Just let it roll to the bottom. All right. Just bring it to the pit box there, nice and smooth.
It looks like the right front's definitely down and several other tires as well.
nice and easy. Got some tires down, so just take your time. Just take it to the pit box.
10-4, 10-4. Car got loose.
Yeah, I saw it there. I saw it.
6th caution of the day. He was running 28th at the time.
That thing snapped around on him, didn't it?
Yeah, it was down on the, looked like he was down on the apron, though, with the left front tire.
That'll get you loose. There goes one of the tires. How's that go, Marty?
Boom. Is there another boom coming? Maybe not. Maybe on the other side. It's not a good feeling. So Ricky Stenhouse Jr., does he come this time, guys?
He's got to this time.
I mean, he has not pitted since lap 17. We are now working lap 70. And I think the guys are on the wall. And there's going to be several takers this time by.
Well, you're going to definitely see Stenhouse come. He needs to for fuel. Kyle Busch has got damage. He'll probably come get that worked on.
Kenny Wallace, Cole Witt, and Justin Allgaier haven't pitted since lap 34. Neither has Danica Patrick. So we'll get an answer here in the not too distant future.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if Elliott Sadler stays out there. He couldn't have been happy with that car, but maybe not want to give up track position. Looks like he's going to come.
Yeah, he's 15th on the track as they were coming down pit road. Johanna Long also coming. Michael Annett. Let's send it down to Dave Burns.
Kyle Busch was 12th, and after he hit the wall, he said, you know, the aerodynamics are actually better. So just make sure you fix the right rear enough to keep the tire from rubbing.
88 car right side tires, 1 can of gas on rookie Cole Witt coming in running 3rd. The 2 car in trouble, guys. I don't know what's wrong with this car, but I got no rear grip whatsoever. They made an air pressure change there. Vince.
The 6 of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. went down a round and a half on the track bar. Also a strip of tape off the grill. You see being pulled off right there, cleaning off the grill. Ricky was complaining about the temperatures. It was a 4-tire change for Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
And a long stop for the 6. So we'll reset everything and sort all the positions out as they're checking on that 54 pit road. Just going back to green flag racing here at Kansas Speedway. Paul Menard up front, took driver's left. That's Justin Allgaier alongside. Joey Logano and Danica Patrick in row number 2. Austin Dillon in the 3. Sam Hornish Jr. in the 12 in row 3. Danica gets a little loose. Dillon takes advantage. Sadler, he is running back in 14th position right now. If you're wondering where's Ricky Stenhouse Jr., he's back in 18th. So Austin Dillon right now in the catbird seat as far as the championship points race is concerned. He's got some space between he and the guys that are ahead of him in that points battle.
Yeah, and I like where he's sitting a lot more than where Elliott Sadler and Ricky Stenhouse are having to battle their way back towards the front.
Here comes Austin Dillon taking a look up alongside the 18. This is the battle for 3rd. Menard has opened up a nice sizable lead over Allgaier, and it looks like Dillon is going to get around Logano. So the car that was literally dominant yesterday throughout the day in practice took the pole. Joey Logano now finds himself in a bit of a struggle.
Yeah, but you see that move right there on the apron. You asked about it earlier. That's a textbook part of that. Go to the bottom, get the position, and make the pass get into 1.
So there's your race leader. 2nd and 3rd as, boy, Allgaier's putting some pressure on Justin. Austin Dillon looking to take over the spot as they go down the backstretch, and it looks like he will. So move Austin Dillon into second, and look at Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Remember, he was 4 positions behind Elliott Sadler a few laps ago. Now he is in front of Elliott.
Yeah, Elliott Sadler's really struggling with this race car. He just gave up a couple of spots to Kyle Busch and to Stenhouse coming through. They're moving forward, but Elliott still doesn't have this car to his liking.
Still have 123 laps to go. But the team, led by Luke Lambert, crew chief, they're going to have to figure out something on the next round of pit stops. That's Cole Witt in the 88 on the high side. Here comes Joe Nemechek and the 99 of Kenny Wallace. Stenhouse taking the short route. Get an update on that 2 car. How about it, Doc?
Well, Elliott Sadler right now is actually talking to Luke Lambert, his crew chief, talking about how I have absolutely no rear grip on entry and very minimal grip on exit. I don't know what you guys did, he said, but it's hard to drive. I can barely hang on out here. Luke told him they increased the stagger by air pressure on that first stop. Otherwise, they haven't made any changes other than just tires only and nothing else. He said, but Elliott just said, I don't know what you guys have done, but I can't drive it. No rear grip whatsoever.
All right, crew chief, what would you do?
Well, I mean, it's got an issue with the setup where it's a little bit freer than they want to be. And it seemed like it was okay on that first set of tires, and then since then it's just not been good. They're going to have to make an adjustment on the car.
Yeah, they're going to make an adjustment, and got to adjust for this racetrack. I think this racetrack's losing some grip, but this tire probably now, it was probably a little bit on the hard side to start with when there was a lot of grip. Now that they've gotten sunshine, got races, cars out here for a long period of time, I think that it's just not the racetrack that they had before. Whoa, trouble right in front of Sadler.
All of a sudden, Michael Annett pulls up. The 54 and the 6 both get around him. You saw Sadler get out of the throttle as well.
Hey, Elliott almost had to stop back there to keep from hitting that car. Lost a ton of time and positions.
Oh, and there you see damage on the 81.
Oh, he's killed the wall there.
Jason Bowles.
He was surprised if it didn't bring out a caution. Looks like he's hit something pretty hard. There got to be pieces of that car back there somewhere.
He was running 13th.
Yeah, now there was a little contact that time, you could see. James Buescher getting into it.
Now from Elliott's on board. Oh, yeah, there.
Inside, clear. Big run coming inside. Clear low.
So tough break for Jason as he tags the wall there. But no caution as he was able to get it around. He's just getting onto pit road now. So let's check in as the battle continues. Ryan Blaney started 27th. He is now battling Joey Logano for 4th. The 18-year-old has run 10 nationwide races. Half of those he's finished in the top 10, and here he is again.
Yeah, he's been really impressive. I think the one thing he's going to have to work on that's important is his qualifying effort to make sure that he doesn't have to try to keep battling from somewhere back 18th to 25th or something like that. But he's very solid during these races.
Yeah, his average start is just over 15, and boy, you look at him, you can see with those white gloves him working that steering wheel.
Joey's just not as dominant today as we've seen this car before. He's still good. He's just not been as dominating.
Yeah, it looks like he's still battling maybe a tight condition that he just can't get this car turned. And he's really not getting up off the corners. You see on the right side of the screen, Stenhouse taking a spot away from Kyle Busch there. But when the track had a lot of grip in a tight situation, you could turn the car and the grip would make the car turn too. It's whenever it's losing a little bit of that, makes it a little bit more difficult. They're going to do some more adjusting for Joey Logano there, Vince.
They sure are, DJ. And, you know, when the driver uses the term junk, that's never good in the ears of the crew chief. That was the word that Joey used to describe it. He also says he's starting to get a vibration in the drivetrain. He can feel it in his seat. So a lot on the mind right now. The 18 of Joey Logano doesn't have a very comfortable ride for sure.
guess all things are relative, and he can call it junk, but not to me. I mean, he's still running decent, sitting there running actually fourth. You can't call that junk right now.
No, the only thing I see is he's about 2.5 tenths off what the leader is running, and they're certainly not accustomed to that, particularly this year.
Our green flag runs today. The first run was 14 laps, second 13, and this run, now the longest at 15 laps. We've had a total of 6 cautions for 25 of the 87 laps that we have run. And as we get ready to head towards commercial break, one of the guys that's had his hands full multiple times today has been the driver of the number 12, Sam Hornish Jr. He's running 7th right now, as he had a loose condition just a little bit earlier. That's Brad Sweet, and he stays out of Brad just enough. No damage.
More than 150 years ago, American pioneers pushed their way through the Kansas Territory. They carved the unknown. Today, Kansas Speedway presents a whole new set of unknowns. An all-new surface, a new layout, and new setups under the cars. All of that could add up to another unknown. An unforeseen challenger blowing in off the prairie. Saddle up.
And well, we've got a quick moment here as we are knocking down 94 of 200 laps in the Kansas Speedway. Let's talk about what we've got coming up, because tomorrow 1 o'clock Eastern on ESPN, Chase race number 6. It's presented by Ram. And 1 Eastern on ABC, it's the American Le Mans Series, Petit Le Mans. That's presented by Mazda. Then 2 weeks from now, we're off next week in the Nationwide Series. We'll be at Texas, November 3rd, 7 o'clock Eastern on ESPN. Danica Patrick is in. Jamie?
She said the car has gotten a lot better, just a little loose into 3. They wanted to focus on that. It's going to be 4 tires and go down 1 round on the track bar as they work the left-hand side of that race car. And Paul Menard continues to lead. We're going to see a couple more cars pitting here momentarily, Marty.
Yeah, she was running 6th, I think, at the time, if I remember correctly, as she gets back out on the track. Had a good run going here today. And makes her stop here on with 104 laps to go. Paul Menard right now leads by a second over Austin Dillon. That's not his biggest lead. His biggest lead was 1.5 seconds about 4 or 5 laps ago.
Yeah, Austin Dillon has been knocking a little bit off of this lead. He's got a pretty quick car. At times running the quickest on the track.
What also has happened now that we've had a long green run, as there you see Austin Dillon currently running in the 2nd spot. A number of cars have gone a lap down. We now have 18 cars shown on the lead lap. Dillon has about a 4-second lead over 3rd place, the 31 of Justin Allgaier. There you see Justin coming through your screen. Last pit laps, Justin Allgaier stopped on lap 34.
Yeah, he's about due right now. Make the green flag stop.
We are working lap number 99, so.
That was the same lap Danica Patrick last pitted, and she's already made her green flag stop.
And it sounds like it might be coming out. Watch this transition.
Nice and smooth here. No mistakes, boys.
45 miles an hour. Let's send it to Jamie Little.
Hard to believe Justin Allgaier's made just 1 stop today. This is just the 2nd time he's come into his pit box. That'll be 4 tires and fuel. Of course, they were keeping their fingers crossed for a caution to keep that track position. But the car so far has been better than a lot of them running around him, is what the team's saying.
So he gets back out into the fray. Meanwhile, Paul Menard continues on the right side of your screen, but his lead is dwindling, guys. It's down to 0.6 of a second. Here comes Sam Hornish Jr. Jamie, heading your way.
Well, he's had a problem with thinking he has a flat tire today. We heard it earlier when the race first began. Now he thinks he has a flat tire once again. but this time they are going to pit. He's in his box. 4 tires is the call, and they're going to go ahead and make a track bar adjustment. They just did that, and they'll fill him up with Sunoco fuel.
And he last pitted on lap number 58. 15.6 seconds, and he's back out onto the track. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., boy, he has really found something in this race car. They have given him a piece that he can work with. He is now up to 5th. Now remember, he restarted 21st after our last caution. That's a good move.
Yeah, he's got a good race car. They made that one stop. That strategy really didn't work out for him. They led a few laps with it, but then, like you said, Marty, restarted 25th. Thought that would be really terrible, hard to make up that much ground, but here he is, all the way up into the top 5 now.
To give you an idea, Elliott Sadler restarted 17th. He's only able to work his way back to 12th right now. So as this battle continues, Joey trying to hold on to the spot from Ricky Stenhouse Jr. There is your top 5. As we're working lap 104 of 200, just a little past the halfway mark. What we're going to do is we're going to step aside now because we expect another group of green flag pit stops. So we'll step aside with a total of 15 cars still on the lead lap, and they're all chasing that man, Paul Menard, looking for his first win in the Nationwide Series this year.
Back at Kansas Speedway, NASCAR Nationwide Series action, and one of the championship contenders, in fact, the defending series champion, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. You see the damage in his car after a collision with the 18 of Joey Logano. He did have clearance on that right rear, so they tried to fix him up as best as they could, and there's the 18 of Logano. He's in the pits now. Logano had complained about his car being loose, especially in traffic, just as Stenhouse got to him, and the two of them collided.
So a major, dramatic change in the championship battle, and for the pole sitter looking to win his 9th race of the year. Here's what happened.
Stenhouse had been working Joey Logano, trying to make this pass, but comes up. He's got plenty of room, but
well, he just ran over Joey.
Yeah.
Oh, got trouble. Got more trouble up in turn number 4 as there's another car, and it's Johanna Long. So a tough break for Johanna.
Right front blue, hard.
She was running 12th.
There. You okay?
Yeah, I'm...
All right, he'll be there to you in just a second here. Take a breath.
So a lot of action happening. So let's go back first because this is huge, involving the 6 of Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
Yes, that caution right there is a big break for Elliott Sadler, too. He wasn't far from getting lapped.
Still a lot of damage on that right side. Here's another look at it from the onboard.
Right back to you again. Inside, inside.
I'm not very happy about all of that.
All right, so you get 2 angles from it, and the end result is trouble for both.
Well, Logano probably didn't have the car to win today, but he still didn't want to get in this type situation. But Stenhouse racing for a championship may effectively take him out of that opportunity.
All right, pit stops are on their way. Let's send it to Jamie Little.
Well, this was a break for Ryan Blaney and his team. They had 5 laps before they had to give up 3rd place and pit. He's saying he's loose in and off the wall. Turn 3 is the biggest issue. 4 tires and air pressure, Dave.
Kyle Busch gives up 4th position to take on 4 tires and fuel. Wedge adjustment, the car not handling just the way that he wants.
Austin Dillon in that 3 right side tires only, chassis adjustment, 2 cans of fuel. The 33 of Paul Menard really likes it, says it got a little tight as the run went on, but otherwise don't touch it.
And of those 4, you saw a 17-second stop by Kyle Busch's crew. That has been one of their Achilles heels from time to time that has reared its ugly head. Here's the race off pit road. Austin Dillon with 2 tires. Paul Menard with 4. And the other two-tire stop, Kenny Wallace. And there's what's left of Johanna Long's car. And from Austin Dillon's onboard, we'll give an idea of what happened.
Yeah, see, that tire just let go. Going down into the corner. Hard hit, as she said.
Tough break for Johanna. She had finished 12th back at Kentucky, her best run on a mile and a half, and she had a great run going today, but the end result right there on the hook. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., boy, the last few weeks have been troublesome. There's what happened at Kentucky as Eric McClure was coming into the pits, and then he ends up spanking the wall. And here's what's happened at Charlotte. And then today, battling for fourth with Joey Logano. And it has cost him dearly in the points championship as you look from the onboard. And on pit road, look at the 18 sort of sending a little message. How about it, DJ?
Yeah, Joey wasn't very happy with that. Joey was up against the wall. It felt like he'd given him plenty of room right there, or on the racetrack when this all happened.
So as we take a look at the last 5 races for the 6 car that is still on pit road. Wins at Chicago, then 17th, 9th, Charlotte. And now he's coming back out. He'll be at least 2 laps down to the race leader. And the way they're running in the points right now, he would drop to 3rd. Vince, give us an update on the 6.
Well, certainly damage on that right rear and on the rear end. They were working on that last couple of stops as they came in to assess that damage and try to fix it. You know, it's interesting, guys. Just before the contact, Ricky Stenhouse was told that he had some debris on the grill. Try to run up on the 18 and get the suction to suck that debris off the grill. And when Stenhouse attempted to do that, it looked as though maybe Logano didn't get the message and raced him a little bit too hard. And they mentioned that to Ricky, and then shortly thereafter that, the accident took place. So maybe some miscommunication between the 6 and the 18 as to the fact that Stenhouse was just trying to get some debris off that grill, and look at how hard he drives it in there and makes the contact with the 18.
And to make matters worse, the 6 is going to have to go to the tail of the longest line because too many men over the wall. All right, here's the 18 radio.
Well, what happened was the 6 fenced the hell out of us, if you're wondering.
That's what I told him. I said, take a look at our car. You're going to see damage on both sides. We can only go so high. There is a wall there, and we about had to climb the wall to stay off of you.
So there is their version of it. We have 13 cars shown on the lead lap. Here are the ones that are 1 lap down. Hornish, Lagasse, Danica Patrick, and Joey Logano shown in 17th. Number of waiver rounds. Only 2 got back on the lead lap. Justin Allgaier and Joe Nemechek. So there is your leader, Austin Dillon, exactly where he wants to be. Paul Menard, who has led a race lead 54 laps, will start alongside. Ryan Blaney 3rd, Kenny Wallace 4th, Michael Annett 5th, Kyle Busch rounds out your top 6. Elliott Sadler, if you're wondering, will restart in the 8th position. And Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is 23rd, 2 laps down. Green flag flies. Side by side, they're still going after the race lead. Paul Menard, who's going to be the official leader at the stripe? It looks like it will be Austin Dillon.
Ryan Blaney not afraid to make it 3 wide, was down the apron there. Kyle Busch to the high side. They battle for that 3rd spot. Looks like Blaney's going to get it.
Kenny Wallace in the 99, followed by Cole Witt and the 43 of Michael Annett. This battle's still going on for the race lead, side by side. You know, we were all worried about the second groove, and we're seeing a great race today.
Yeah, we really are. We're seeing just how difficult it is, can be on to keep your car on the inside, which we thought was going to be the only way around here. Since that's come in, aerodynamics has come into play and making that inside a difficult place to make a pass at times.
Kyle Busch on the high side, followed by the 99 of Kenny Wallace. All at the expense of the 22 of Ryan Blaney.
Now, keep in mind, as that second groove comes in, it does have more banking. So if it starts getting a little bit of rubber on it, these cars will make some time up there by carrying some momentum.
Blaney trying to come back on the 99. Look at Sam Hornish Jr. take to the apron. From high above, Hornish gets around Michael Annett.
Ryan Blaney now making another pass on Kenny Wallace.
And it looked like Sam got a little loose again, slid up the track, and yes, Michael Annett's right back underneath him. And there's Blaney going underneath the 99, so he's able to make that low line work for him. Still side by side with Annett and Sam Hornish. That's Brad Sweet right behind the two of them.
Yeah, you can see Elliott Sadler's fallen to the rear of this. He's still up in the top 10, running 10th right now. That last session of events that happened there with Stenhouse and then caution coming out after that could have been the difference for Elliott Sadler because he was only within about 4 seconds of getting lapped. Could it be the difference of him winning this championship or not, or having a much bigger battle?
Yeah, that was a huge turnaround because Stenhouse was way up in front of him. With that Sadler getting almost ready to be lapped. That was a big turn of events right there, just a few laps.
And right now, Elliott would have a 20-point lead over both Ricky Stenhouse and Austin Dillon. And while all this action is settled down, at least for the moment, Johanna Long has been released from the Infield Care Center. Let's talk to her, Jamie.
Well, she is okay. She qualified 9th and was having a pretty good day. Was there any indication there? Do you think you ran over any debris?
I don't know what happened. You know, we ran really good at the start of the race. We got a little bit of bad pit stop there that put us back there. We ran hard. You know, all the guys in the Ford Travel Motor Coach Chevrolet really worked hard all day long. Owe it all to them. I don't know if something broke or just the right front, but we'll just go to work, trying to get it better and get ready for Texas.
All right, that will be the next time we'll see her. Marty?
And every time we've seen her lately, she has been making improvements and doing a good job at it. Oh, this ought to get interesting. Here we go. You got Logano right in front of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Now Stenhouse is now shown in 18th, 2 laps down. Logano is 17th, 1 lap down.
I'd say if he thought it was hard to pass Joey Logano a while ago, it may be even more difficult now.
Yeah, because you got to remember, Joey's not running for points. He has no dog in that fight.
Yeah, looks like Stenhouse a little bit tentative right there. Not know if this dog's going to bite or not.
There's the swing that has happened so far today, and here we go, side by side.
You see the whole left side of Logano's car where they had contact earlier.
Yeah, and the right side of Ricky's is pretty much
You got to figure this out to get by him here.
Going to try it again. They come through 4. And this is going to get real interesting now because Joey's not happy. Joey had a car that he knew he could win this race. Gave him a little nudge, but he didn't turn him.
And we've seen Ricky Stenhouse last year in winning his championship and then again this year be a very aggressive driver, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you also have to understand situations, and a track like this where it is difficult to pass is going to test your patience, and I think that he just ran out of patience a little bit and tried to make something happen a little bit sooner than what he was ready to, or what the car was actually ready to and capable of doing.
Now, he got around the 8 of Scott Lagasse Jr. Lagasse is actually just 1 lap down in 16th position. As we mentioned, Stenhouse is 2 laps down in 18th. Let's give you another view as Ricky has now opened up some ground on Joey. Here's what it looked like from high above.
And you see, the 6 is a little faster, quite a bit faster actually, but Joey just gave him a little nudge, and I didn't forget about it.
Is that one of those, DJ, I can turn you, but I won't?
I won't. Yeah, he understands the situation. Joey's a professional, but he didn't want it to go by without letting him know that I did not appreciate at all what you did.
Because if he turns him, it could have taken him out of the championship battle for good.
Yeah, and you know what kind of car Joey's going to be driving next year, right?
Yes. Ford, I believe. All right, let's step aside for a moment as it's Paul Menard and Austin Dillon running 1 and 2. We are under our 8th caution here at the Kansas Speedway. There is debris out between turns 3 and 4. And waiting to see who's going to take and who's staying out. And it looks like, well, the 30 car is going to come in. That's James Busher, followed by Brad Sweet in 38.
I call the Turner cars.
Turner cars, yeah, I was going to say. Justin Allgaier. And let's go to Jamie.
He said we don't need 2 rounds on the track bar. That was the call, so they just went a half round. They're filling it up with fuel, and they will put 4 tires on. And they left the ratchet. They got to pull that out before he leaves, Doc.
And down below them, Brad Sweet came in, not in the fuel window, but he has a vibration, so they got to come in and put 4 tires on. Trent Owens made the call. Young man doing a nice job here as a rookie. Marty?
Yeah, and with 69 laps to go, fuel window, they're outside of it by about 9 laps. And so as they come back out, unless they get a lot of caution laps, and we have had 8 cautions for 32 laps, and there is the debris that we're out picking up. There are several pieces out there, and we'll step aside and be right back.
Phrase of the day at Kansas Speedway has been loose, as in lots of loose race cars.
Yeah, they just cannot get hooked up in this new surface, and they're kind of slipping and sliding all over the place. But I will tell you, as the race is going on, that second groove is coming in, and things are getting better.
Yeah, really are. Having a tough time, though, some of these guys, his cars are really loose. Getting the air taken off of them. It's a new race day, and they're having just struggling.
Turning point, though, possibly in the championship. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. got into Joey Logano. Logano still not happy about it. But this is not a good opportunity out here for Stenhouse.
No, big turning point in the championship. Don't really understand what went on there. Just some close racing, a little bit of judgment. But you could see Joey still not happy with Ricky right there. But again, a racing incident.
And it just happened on pit road. Right now, Stenhouse Jr. currently being showed 2 laps down in 22nd. Logano just 1 lap down. He started on pole, has won 8 times in this series this season. Both of them thought they had the opportunity to win today. The interesting question now is the leader is Paul Menard. His teammate, Austin Dillon, is running second. And as they're running the championship right now,
you trying to start
22 points out of the lead. So let me just say, Team Orders.
Oh, I knew it was coming.
I saw a black helicopter. I'm not sure. But, who knows? Right now, you're looking at Austin Dillon's in second place. You said it. I don't know. Granddaddy, who knows?
I don't think you're going to see team orders. I really don't. Nowadays, I don't think Menard will pull over for him. He wants to win this race. I don't think he wants to hurt Austin Dillon by any means, but I don't think you're going to see him get out of the way.
Who's Menard's boss?
He probably won't run Richard Childress, but he may not race him as hard as he would someone else, but getting plenty of room.
Marty, will be interesting to see how this one plays out.
93 starts since Paul Menard's only career win at Milwaukee back in June of 2006. I think he wants to win. We're back to green. The last several restarts, it's been like this for several laps, side-by-side action.
Really impressed how Paul Menard can stay up there in that second groove, get a good run off the corner. Every other time he's eventually taking the lead back. Austin Dillon doesn't want to let that happen right now, though.
One of 9 drivers that will be doing double duty, and believe me, his notebook is getting a lot of pages filled up with what he's learned here today.
Paul just gets such a run off the top side.
There's a lot of the drivers for that Sprint Cup race sitting watching this race right now that are saying, man, I'm really glad we're seeing this happen today.
Kyle Busch is running in 3rd. There you see the 22 of Ryan Blaney in 4th as they come across the stripe. In 5th, it's the 88 of Cole Whitt, followed by the 99 of Kenny Wallace. A little side-by-side action a little deeper in the field. It's Brad Sweet going around the 31, Justin Allgaier. Or to correct that, that is Mike Bliss.
Bliss having another nice run today. See
Bliss right behind Allgaier. It's the 30 Great Clips car, not the 38. That's James Buescher on the high side. So just got our 30 and 38. Oh, and the 24 has scraped the wall.
Bring it down pit road. Bring it down
That
pit
is
road
Derek
right
White,
here.
and the caution is out. And the right side looks a lot worse than the left.
Yeah, he'd already had some damage on the right side. Had gotten into the wall before this also.
No, I think we're going to have to take it to the garage. Put right sides on it. Put right sides on it.
He was running 26th at the time.
Well, he looked like he carried a lot of speed down into the corner, but just not enough grip there for that speed.
In case you're wondering, let's see another angle on this. The record for cautions here is 11. This is our 9th today. Can't get the jack underneath right now. All right, you're 62 laps to go. That's 2 outside the window. What do you want to do, crew chief?
Well, I mean, you'd want to pit if you could make it, but I've just seen so many caution flags. I just don't see this thing going green to the end. Sure is nice having that track position, too. Saw Stenhouse. He stayed out there for that track position earlier and kind of worked out for him for a while, but then once you get back in this pack, it's kind of hard racing up through there.
Well, and we can tell you Danica Patrick will get the free pass. That'll put her back on the lead lap, give us 15 cars on the lead lap.
I'd have to say Richard Childress might be over there thinking, too, that if they drag all of those lead lap cars in there, Ricky Stenhouse could get a wave around and get one of his laps back. And
this would be a way to keep him down.
Yeah.
By staying out, we keep him down 2 laps.
There is Richard.
Looks like they're going to come down pit road. Looks like all of them are. This is going to be a big break for Stenhouse.
Could be the last stop for a lot of these cars. We'll have 61 laps to go this time across the stripe. Jamie?
Well, since Ryan Blaney last pitted on lap 112, they don't need tires. Just wipe off the front, fill it up with fuel, Dave.
Kyle Busch's team is going to take 4 tires. Track bar. No, he's going to take no tires right now. Doc?
Elliott Sadler will be 7 laps short on fuel. They got to hope for some yellow flags to make it right side tires only. Vince.
The 3 of Austin Dillon, he's going to take on 2 tires. Left sides for Austin Dillon. And the 33 of Paul Menard came as well. And Menard took left side tires also.
And there's the race off pit road as Justin Allgaier picked up 9. Now, you heard Elliott Sadler said he'd be 7 short. That means he can only make 54 laps. We'll find out. Great view of Kansas City. Let's remind you what's coming up tomorrow. Race number 6 in the chase for the Sprint Cup. It's presented by Ram, 1 o'clock Eastern on ESPN. Also at 1 Eastern tomorrow on ABC, it's the American Le Mans Series, Petit Le Mans, presented by Mazda. And the NASCAR Nationwide Series is off next week, so 2 weeks, November 3rd, from Texas, 7 o'clock Eastern on ESPN. We're getting ready to go green flag racing, and if you're wondering about strategy, our longest green flag stretch has been 39 laps. We now have 59 to go, and some people are going to have to hope for some more yellow. Side by side, Justin Allgaier, Paul Menard. Right behind them, it's Kyle Busch, James Buescher, Austin Dillon, and Joe Nemechek is in 6th. The 1 3 wide down the back stretch. That's Sam Hornish on the inside.
Sam got back on the lead lap. He's ready to go to the front. Like Brad Sweet having a little problem there.
He slid up the hill, and there's Danica Patrick. She got back on the lead lap, side by side with Sweet. So Justin Allgaier, our 5th different leader today. We've had a total of 9 lead changes.
Allgaier able to pass Paul Menard on the bottom. That's the first time we've seen that in a while.
And Paul Menard has led the most laps today, guys. 76.
Allgaier a little bit loose right there. Here goes Menard.
Yep, he's going to give it right back to him. Here comes Paul, as he'll make it now 77 laps led. And Austin Dillon licking his chops, realizing he could pick up some ground in the championship points battle. Moves around Allgaier as well, and the 54 is right behind. And here comes Kyle Busch underneath the 31.
Yeah, and I'm not seeing this 33 maybe be quite as good as it has been. As you see, Kyle Busch, one of his better runs, taking over that 3rd spot.
Kyle still looking to keep that streak alive of at least 1 victory in what would be 9 consecutive seasons. Sam Hornish, as we've seen several times, down on the apron. Justin Allgaier going the wrong direction. One thing we should point out, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. right now, with the way everything turned around with this last caution, instead of being 2 laps down, he's now 1 lap down, shown in 18th position in the lucky dog spot.
Yeah, he's going to get that lap back. There'll be another caution. He's got a car fast enough to stay there in that position. And I'm not sure if I would have been Childress, I would have left that 33 car out there so he couldn't have gotten that other lap back because he was 2 down. It's almost like giving him 2 laps back because he'll get that lucky dog spot.
And you see Elliott Sadler there. He is shown in 7th position, putting a lot of pressure on Justin Allgaier.
Looks like they've helped Sadler's car some.
Sadler looks like he is going to get around him. Come across the stripe. There's Ryan Blaney trying to get in the mix, and here comes the 31 right back.
Yeah, Sadler just not able to take advantage on the inside, getting into the corner.
Oh, be careful, Elliott. I wanted to talk to you. Remember, first off, the 31 did not take tires on that stop. There he goes. He wiggles. That's going to open the door, and 2 cars are going to go by him. But Elliott needs to really be careful. He needs to think big picture, doesn't he?
Yeah, he really does. That's all he's after right now. He doesn't have the car to win the race right now. So you just make this a great points day. Finish up there as high as you can, but don't take any chances in these last 53 laps.
So if you're on the radio to him, you tell him don't get close to that guy again like that?
Yeah, you can see right there. He's got the 24-point lead over the other 2 cars chasing him.
And with 3 races to go after this, 24 points, that is a lot. Sam Hornish Jr. and the 54 of Kyle Busch. And Hornish, he's moving up. He has put him into 4th now. So his Dodge has come to life here after this last round of stops.
You can see the 3rd place car go with. Having a great run right in front of Hornish.
That Kyle Busch car just took off over there in turn 2. I don't know if he's got a problem or not.
I think his problem is maybe no tires on that thing.
Cole Witt, 13th last week at Charlotte, and then Kentucky and Dover, the 2 races prior. He finished 6th in both of those events. Cole running 3rd. And you can see the yellow car just there. Sam Hornish Jr. in 4th. A little farther back is the 54. There is Kyle Busch, Elliott Sadler, Ryan Blaney. They're running pretty much nose to tail. And running in 8th position is the 7 of Danica Patrick. Restarted in 15th, moved up to 8th.
Yeah, she's been really solid. This is a good race car, and she's done a great job of driving it today. Worked her way as some of these stacked up on that restart, made some nice passes. But she's doing a really good, really solid day here for Danica. Jamie?
Well, it's been up and down, DJ. On pit strategy, she went down 1 lap, and she stayed patient, stayed communicating to her team, and got the lucky dog. Now that she's back in position, she came on the radio and said, I'm proud of myself, actually. She's had a lot on her plate. She's been in the Cup car for the last 4 days as well, so she's starting in the back of tomorrow's field. A lot on her plate going back and forth on this new repaved track, guys.
And Jamie, she actually at one point was 2 laps down, stayed out, got the wave around. That put her back on 1 lap down, and then she got the free pass. And so, yes, has done a good job. And on the left side, you see what's going on with the 54 and the 2.
Yeah, Sadler's been able to run Kyle Busch down. Looked like he was going to make a pass there, but Kyle's been able to pull away a little bit. But I don't think Kyle Busch is very happy here, Dave.
No, and ever since he wrecked the primary car in practice on Thursday, they've had to go to this car, which is kind of a Frankenstein's monster. It was a used chassis that they then put the KBM setup. You see Mike Wallace smoking in front of him. They put the KBM front end clip on it, and that has made the car loose the entire weekend. It wasn't bad even after the wall contact earlier, but after this last pit stop for no tires but chassis adjustments, it has now gone to what Kyle goes wrecking loose again. And he just kind of frustrated with his race car because it seems like they just touch it and it goes the wrong way.
Well, you heard him saying wrecking loose. And I got to tell you, Dave, you better avoid Rusty Wallace. You called that car Frankenstein's monster. That chassis used to belong to Rusty. 19 race winless streak, nothing to laugh about for Kyle. You know, that's the second longest of his career. And there's Mike Beam, the man who's responsible for trying to get that car to victory lane with the right change. And right now, they're going the wrong direction. He is 3.8 seconds behind the race leader. There's Paul Menard with his teammate, and Austin Dillon running right behind him. Back here at Kansas Speedway, great battle for the race lead between the RCR teammates. You see 42 laps to go, now 41 this time by. Paul Menard, who has now led a total of 93 laps, is right ahead of Austin Dillon. Austin trying to get as many points as he can. He's in that championship battle with Elliott Sadler and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. We can tell you that James Buescher has gone behind the wall. Don't know exactly why, but he was running in the 22nd position. All right, so while we've got a moment, let's get caught up on the top 5 in the championship standings. Let's go up to speed with Nationwide Insurance. Vince?
Well, Austin Dillon is running second on the track to Paul Menard, and he came into this race third in the championship points, 29 points behind. You saw that previous graphic. He has now cut into that deficit. He's won twice this season. This is the same car Austin drove to victory in both of those previous wins. It's good again today, but he's a little short on fuel right now, saving on fuel, getting some tips from his grandfather, Richard Childress, who's watching from up above, encouraging Austin to let off the throttle sooner, entering the turns, roll those corners a little bit, save, save, save. But boy, they'd all feel a little better with another yellow. Doc?
Elliott Sadler said when the day began, if we can finish 4th to 6th, hey, caution on the racetrack, guys. We'll update that in a moment.
Thank you, Doc. Looking around the track right now, no damage that I can see. We'll wait for NASCAR to give us the reason, but here with 30, and there it is. There's some debris out on the track.
Had so many cars with damage that you see a lot of things falling off of it. Had a few of these debris cautions today.
This is our 10th, one shy of the track record here at Kansas Speedway.
Something I saw right there before that came out, Kyle Busch had found something with his race car. He really had picked things up, had got up, back up to Sam Hornish, to battle for that 4th spot. So we'll have to see if that he's able to keep that pace and maybe give these guys up front a run.
Guess who's going to get the free pass, guys? The 6 of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. So after what appeared to be pretty much a fatal blow, going 2 laps down, he now will be able to restart in the 17th position.
He's got a better car than Elliott Sadler does. I'd be surprised if he doesn't if not able to drive up through there and pass Elliott.
The other car he's going to have to pass before he can get to Elliott will be that 18 of Joey Logano.
Oh, I forgot about that.
22 has decided to come down pit road. Ryan Blaney, several others farther back in the queue. Let's send it down to Jamie.
A lot of these teams very, very close to not making it, so to be safe rather than sorry, he came in, Ryan Blaney, right sides, track bar adjustment, and some fuel.
Let's send it over to Doc.
And here's the 38 car, Brad Sweeten. They're going to do right side tires only and tighten him up a little bit free coming up off the corner. Young man doing a great job. Down the way, Vince.
The 18 of Joey Logano, the class of the field early in the race, but they have since struggled and, of course, had that contact with Ricky Stenhouse Jr. See the chassis adjustment. It's a 4-tire change. Logano says he's actually not bad despite the damage. He just hoped that this one adjustment would help his car a little bit stronger.
As they all come off pit road, he almost lost a few extra positions there as it momentarily stalled. Let's take a look at the number of cautions in Chicago. We had just 5. The most was 6 in Kentucky, and as we pointed out, 10 today for 39 laps. And we have 37 to go at this point. And we've only had 2 laps under this caution, and everybody's saying they needed somewhere between 5 and 7. While we're waiting for everything to reset, we drop in on the 2 car of Elliott Sadler and listen to their strategy regarding fuel.
Do you feel like you got us any so far?
Yeah, I feel like I got you about a lap right there.
Hey, 10-4.
We'll get you some more right here.
Yeah, this is what we needed.
Which, you know, everybody was in the same boat right there.
Well, I'm not sure. I wouldn't have just come on down pit road and got some fuel if I was Elliott Sadler and bunch right now, just to try to make sure that this thing doesn't run out.
Well, let's talk a little strategy. How about it, Doc?
Well, Gil Martin wears several hats at RCR. He's the crew chief for Kevin Harvick tomorrow for the Cup race, but you're also director of competition for the Nationwide Series program for RCR. You're over here. You're doing the calculations on fuel. They told Elliott a moment ago you were 3 gallons short, 3.5 laps shy. How about now?
I think with all these cautions, everybody's going to be right there on it, but everybody's been saving a lot of fuel. All the guys up front know how to save a couple laps like that. Everybody should be close, but I think we'll be all right.
You came running over here earlier when Elliott was complaining the car had just lost completely rear grip. Why do you think that happened all of a sudden in the 2 car, and how does that impact tomorrow?
I think the difference in the pressures from left sides and right sides, you put those low lefts on, the car just gains a lot of grip, got really loose, so we had to get the balance back in the car. We got 4 tires back on it, and just putting the right sides on, I think we made the adjustments that are going to be necessary to keep it tight enough where it needs to be.
Okay, Gil Martin, guys, saying the left side tires and the air pressure change is really what hurt the 2 car in the middle part of the race.
And the fuel strategy here is going to be interesting because we just watched Ricky Stenhouse after getting the wave around. He came down pit road. He tops off his tank. He's in great shape, and he's back on the lead lap.
Yeah, I know. I'm just not sure about the strategy for Elliott Sadler. They just need to be a little defensive, and they know they're short by 4 or 5 laps. So if they don't get another caution, they run out of fuel, they're going to give away a ton of points. If they pit here and get fuel, I know it's been hard for them to pass cars today. They'd be right back there with the car that they're racing for the championship and be safe on fuel. I just worry about that gamble.
Find out, because we now know Ricky Stenhouse Jr. can go the distance with now just 35 laps to go. Let's get an update on that 6. How about it, Vince?
You know, it's interesting. Crew Chief Mike Kelly really been working to pump up his driver, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Ricky kind of beating himself up a little bit because of that contact with the 18. But you saw, Marty, and you made the comment, they came in, they got their 4 tires, made a chassis adjustment, took on the fuel. They're good to go. And Mike Kelly told him, he said, everybody else is going to be trying to save because they're close. We can go all out. Go get them. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, remember this, lap number 165. Because this could be the turning point in the race. Because Elliott Sadler did not stop. Ricky Stenhouse did.
I think we have to go even back further than that. Before, we were talking about a Childress car staying out. It might have should have been the 2. They couldn't make it anyway. So they should have stayed out, kept Stenhouse 2 laps down, and then they would be in a much better situation here.
All right, let's quickly talk some football. Number 1 team in the land is on ESPN. The Crimson Tide is heading into Knoxville. This should be a dandy. It's college football primetime. It's presented by Hampton Hotels. Top-ranked Alabama versus Tennessee tonight at 7 on ESPN. You can also catch it live on Watch ESPN. Let's listen to Paul Menard's radio, race leader.
We all put it at the same time, right?
Yes. The 3 is saying they're 6 short. 88 says they're 3 short. 54 says he's 3 short.
We're between 2 and 4.
Correct. But these cautions now saying between 1 and 2. 1 and 2.5.
And the 6 isn't short at all. Here we go, back to green flag racing. Whoa, getting spread out.
Big move by Cole Witt right there.
Austin Dillon. His hands full for a second there in the number 3.
Well, Cole Witt has ideas of winning this race.
His career best is 4th. Right now he's battling for 2nd. Sam Hornish Jr. had a wicked loose race car early in this race. Here comes Dillon down on the apron, trying to take that spot back from Cole. And there's Elliott Sadler right behind him.
Yeah, Austin Dillon's problem is he's going to have to use more fuel than he really would have wanted to right at this point. Probably like to have held on and saved a little bit. These two got a real battle. See how this turns out.
Cole going after him again and takes the spot. And you're just wondering if somebody's on the radio saying, this is not how we save fuel. Because here comes Austin right back to try and retake the spot.
We got a little temper flaring between these two young drivers.
Right behind him, you've also got Kyle Busch, Elliott Sadler in the mix. Also Ryan Blaney in the 22.
Blaney made a pit stop there, got some tires and adjustments on his car.
Yeah, Blaney's good. He stopped on lap number 163. On board with Danica Patrick. She's running in 8th. She, too, is in the low fuel category, though. She stopped on lap 138. Block move put on by the 22 of Blaney there.
Yeah, moves like that won't make you any friends, especially against the points leader.
I tell you, while all this is going on, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. has moved up to 14th.
Now look at Danica, 3 wide.
Whoa! And Danica goes around both of them.
That's a great move.
Good job, though, that momentum.
So move Danica now up into the 6th position. Her next target would be Cole Witt in the 88. Take a look at the number 6 of Ricky Stenhouse. Whoa, a spin behind him. The 19 of Mike Bliss. And those that needed caution laps are going to get a few more. We've just tied the record with our 11th caution, and a tough break for Mike Bliss as he was running 15th.
Fire up.
The excess fuel in the pipes, he refires. Don't see any damage on the car.
Did someone run into me? No, he was all clear.
Well, anybody anywhere close?
As a driver, I mean, that's how quickly it's happening. You don't even know if somebody tapped you.
Yeah, again, and with these harder tires, again, it just starts taking off, and you literally feel like that. It looks like his car may have been getting up towards the wall a little bit. He just turned the wheel, and sometimes it may feel like that, but as I said, nobody was even close.
Well, unfortunately, Mike's made a lot of work for the paint crew on the logos on the grass. That's the least that he's worried about. He had a decent run going in that 19 car. Okay, so those that needed to save some fuel, here we go again.
Yeah, these caution laps are going to help a lot of cars, especially Elliott Sadler. I was really worried about the move to stay out there. This is going to really help them hopefully make it to the end for their strategy, but we'll see. And we know the 6 car can make it. This is a break for him, too. This caution is a break for him.
Let's go to Doc on the 2.
Yeah, they were yelling at Elliott Sadler, hey, save fuel, save fuel. He said he came back and, man, I'm giving up position after position out here saving fuel. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. And the yellow came out. And just a moment ago, they said, Elliott, we're good now, buddy. You can crank on it and go. We should be good. Elliott said, finally, I can go race somebody. Boy, they were very concerned, Andy. And you're right. They maybe should have come down and topped off. Without this yellow, they'd have been about a lap and a half short.
Now, these cautions might save them.
Well, we can tell you Danny Eflin will get the free pass. That'll give us 18 cars on the lead lap. And he's just making sure.
Oh, yeah. You're going to save all you can right now. I mean, there's no reason at all not to. You keep shutting it off, save every single ounce you can save.
And a green white checker may not be out of the question here yet either.
All right. Well, we got a moment. Let's dial up our in-race reporter, Joey Logano. Started on pole. Right now, he is running in the 11th position, DJ.
Hey, Joey, Dale Jarrett, you there?
10-4, got you.
Well, it looked like you had a great car to start with, and then things got a little interesting for you. What do you got right now?
I got a very tight car, and I'm just trying to hang on with what I got. It's just trying to make as much stuff happen on these restarts as I can and try to hold them off. It's unfortunate. We weren't very good. We had that clean air, which kind of fooled us a little bit, thinking better than what we were. And once I got in traffic, I was like, oh my goodness, this thing's tight. And we've been struggling to get the turn, and then we got fenced, and now we're back on the lead lap, which is good. We just got to fight and get what we can get here.
Hey, Joey, we saw the incident between you and the 6. Was there something maybe before we saw that may have triggered something happening there?
No. What you've seen is what you get.
Okay, thank you very much. Good luck in this last part.
Thanks, guys.
And, of course, that's the incident that put Joey in the position that he is in with the 6 of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Ricky went 2 laps down, and believe it or not, he has now managed to get back on the lead lap. He is 13th, and look at the points. It's just a difference of 17. And the day began at 13.
Yeah, they had a chance. I mean, the Childress teams had a chance to keep him 2 laps down. They didn't take it, and they let him get that 1 lap back, and then he got it back the other way with being in the free pass position.
Yeah, and I'm not exactly sure how his car may be performing right now because haven't really seen him in a position since all of that happened. But if it's any good at all, he has fresher tires. He's got plenty of fuel. He's caught up to the lead lap cars now. He could actually end up making a points gain on the lead before this is out because I'm telling you, Elliott Sadler is still struggling with the handling of his car, I believe.
Guys, let's give a shout out to Sam Hornish. Remember at the beginning of this race, I mean, he had a handful of race cars. It was so wicked loose. We were wondering if he was going to be able to hold on to it. He has 3 second-place finishes here in 2012, and there's another instance. Managed to stay out of harm's way. Used the apron a couple of times to pick up some spots. Let's talk to his crew chief, Jamie Little.
That would be Chad Walter. They've made all the right adjustments. Chad, now are you guys good to go on fuel?
Yeah, I believe so. The guys in the pit box here for the Alliance Challenger have done a really good job. We had a couple of opportunities to pit when we had the flat tire and kind of got out of sequence, and we should be good to go here. We're just, Sam does a good job on the track all the time, even when we're not racing, saving fuel. So I think we have an outstanding car. The guys at Penske should be really proud of what they put out here on the racetrack, and hopefully we can bring one home for them. Thanks.
Right, Sam Hornish Jr. second now, Marty. We're going back to green.
Yes, we are, and it'll be Paul Menard, race leader. In fact, he's finished in the top 10 in his last 14 starts, but no wins. And they're in row number 1. Behind him, Austin Dillon, Kyle Busch. And then it's Cole Witt, Danica Patrick, Ryan Blaney, Elliott Sadler, Justin Allgaier, and Michael Annett. That's your top 10. Something happened to Menard. He is going south.
And look at Danica Patrick making a run.
Danica on the inside of Sam Hornish. And meanwhile, look at Kyle Busch. Looking for that first win in his own car, and he may have the lead at the stripe. Here comes Menard back on the apron. So right now it's Kyle. Then you've got Paul Menard. And everybody sort of calmed down for the moment, except a little further back.
Yeah, you're right, Dale. It seemed like Kyle found something there. I don't know, about 20 laps ago. Just really, this car lit up.
That was Cole Witt you saw there in the 88. So right now it's Busch, Menard, Dillon, Danica Patrick, Sam Hornish. That rounds out your top 5. There's Elliott Sadler in 6th. Look at this action going on with Kenny Wallace in the 99, Ryan Blaney in the 22. Right behind them, look out, Allgaier's running up the hill. Nice save, but it's going to cost him a lot of spots.
Line. All clear.
So he gathers it back up. Here comes Sam Hornish. Restarted second, side by side with Danica. Elliott, Sadler, trying to get around as well. Danica's not willing to give up the spot.
No, she's racing hard. She's got a car that she can really have fun with, be aggressive, and show her driving talents off here today. She's doing a really, really good job.
And the last time she had a top 10 was back at Bristol when she came home 9th.
That was pretty cool watching her on that restart. Take off. She was on the outside lane and driving for the lead. That was fun.
Got a mirror full of the two of Elliott Sadler right now. She's trying to hold on to a top 5 spot. Sadler's got to run. You saw her wiggle just a little. That opened the door.
Yeah, Sadler looks like maybe he had been holding back a little bit more, saving fuel. I thought his car was really not all that good, but he's made some nice moves on this restart. Now he's got himself up in the top 5, which is a great run for him.
Michael Annett tried to get around Danica, could not get the job done. Meanwhile, we'll let you know that Ricky Stenhouse Jr. has snuck up into that 11th spot. This is all for position. Patrick Annett and Cole Witt. There you see the race leader, Kyle Busch. Kyle becomes our 6th different leader. We've had 11 lead changes. And you know what's one of the interesting things about this race is the fact that the actual winner at Kansas has led less than 20 laps in 7 of the last 9. Guess what? Kyle Busch has only led 7 so far. We've got 18 to go, so he might break that mark if he could stay there. But
yeah, he better keep his foot in it, because that yellow car right there that's coming, not the one directly behind him, but Sam Hornish is on the move. He's beating him by about 2/10 a lap. I don't know if he can pass him when he gets there, but he's going to catch him.
Cole Witt trying to get around Danica, as you see the 43 has. Battle for the race lead now, heating up again. Paul Menard, he has led the most laps, 109 today, more than half this race. Here he comes, taking a look. They're side by side, heading for the stripe end. Who's going to lead it this time? It will be the 33.
Kyle's not going to go away here easily, though. He's going to try to see if he can hold Paul Menard down. Menard's not going to be able to complete the pass yet.
And it's allowed Austin Dillon to also come in and get into this mix.
Yeah, he could look at making it 3 wide here if he wants to do that down the front straightaway.
It's time by, 15 laps to go. What a great battle. We were worried about a freight train race early because of that second groove. It has been anything but. And Sam Hornish Jr. is creeping back into the mix as well. So there's your top 4. Then it's a bit of a gap back to 5th place. Elliott Sadler, about 2 seconds.
Paul Menard slipped up. Looked like his car really pushed on the exit there. Here comes Hornish.
Oh, and they're going to both be on the apron. Sam's used that move several times, and he makes it stick and picks up 2 spots. Oh, Menard, look at him wiggling there.
Impressed with Kyle Busch keeping this car out front. This thing was not handling good at all. In fact, he was sliding back outside the top 5 at one point. Here comes Menard back for second.
And let's see who's fastest at the line. There we go. Kyle Busch was fastest. Elliott Sadler. Michael Annett. Nope. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. 9th. He's back inside the top 10. There was a stretch at this race where he was 2 laps down, and it looked like not only his day could be over, but maybe his championship.
Nothing else. Stenhouse is going to minimize the damage of what could have been a devastating day to his championship hopes.
Danica Patrick, Cole Witt, they're side by side. That is the battle for 7th. And there is Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in 9th. And he is tracking both of those. Whoa, look out. Cole gets it sideways and makes a nice save.
Makes for an easy pass for Stenhouse. Yeah, those are positions and a point. Now time.
Take another look at this great save by Cole Witt.
Hell of a save right there. We're going to get back to her next time. You're going to go down to the one. You're just going to ride right on her bumper into 1 and get her loose.
Cost him only one spot as he was running in the 7th position. Meanwhile, there is your race leader looking to keep his history hopes alive. If he wins, he ties Mark Martin for most consecutive seasons with at least one win in the Nationwide Series. It has been a frustrating 18 starts for him this year. And right now, 10 laps to go. And Kyle Busch may be able to pull it off.
He may be able to. He lost about 1.5 to Paul Menard last time. Plus, then he caught lap traffic at the wrong spot. He's going to lose a little bit more of his lead by the time they get back to the start-finish line here.
Nine laps to go now. Menard was the quickest. Second fast Hornish. Third quickest Kyle Busch. And let me correct that because Ricky Stenhouse Jr. has just crossed the line. He has now got the fastest race car on the track. And with all that damage, please explain to me how.
Yeah, he's got better tires right now. They did pit stop after he got that lap back.
And he just went by Danica Patrick to get another spot.
So getting past Danica will put him into the 7th position. And guess where he started the day in the points? Minus 13. Guess where he is right now? Minus 14.
One car between him and Elliott Sadler right now, and that's Michael Annett.
Yeah, but he's got about 1.3 seconds to catch up to Annett, and we are running out of laps.
Annett's been catching Elliott Sadler on a pretty good pace. If he could somehow get by there, this would be back really where it started the day.
Yeah, that's lap traffic in the 39, and then the 43 is Michael Annett, who has had an outstanding season this year for that 43 team. Going around Jennifer Jo Cobb in the 13. She is 23rd, 6 laps down. Let's go back and check in on the race lead. Kyle Busch, his margin, a half a second over Paul Menard.
It's shrinking just a little bit, but I think Kyle's doing a great job of maintaining this lead. It's going to be tough for Paul to get by him if he does catch him.
Yeah, he may have to go to that outside. I think Kyle's car right now is a little bit on the tight side. He's having to really get the left side down on that white line to keep his car turning off the corner. So if Paul gets there, he may have to get to the outside.
We talked about this being a 19-race winless streak in this series for Kyle, second longest in his career. What do you think he's thinking about right now on the verge of maybe winning in his own car?
He's just thinking win. He hasn't won a race in a long time. He wants to definitely try to get this win. And I tell you, he's going on guts right now. He's able to he's getting beat by Paul Menard just a little bit, less than 1/10 of a second a lap. I think it's going to be hard for Paul, even if he catches him. It's going to be hard for him to pass him.
You know what's been fun for me this race? How many cars we have seen have issues, have problems, drop back, and then rally to come back. And Kyle fits in that mix as well. It has been a great day here at Kansas Speedway for the NASCAR Nationwide Series.
Yeah, Kyle pounded the wall earlier in the race, and they did a good job of getting it fixed and getting the car adjusted up. I think even we heard Kyle say one time he thought the aero was better after he hit the wall.
It was lap 70 when he had that long pit stop to repair the damage on the right rear. And he fell back to 29th at that point. So Kyle Busch has rallied from 29th, and now with 3 laps to go, Menard is closing. So, and a big crash on the back. 44 is involved. That's Hal Martin. And I'm trying to get the number on the second car involved. And
that's the 8.
Oh, it's the 8 of Scott Lagasse Jr.
Well, they don't have enough fuel now.
Lagasse was on the lead lap running in 17th. Hal Martin was 25th, 14 laps down.
That's just a case of a rookie getting loose.
Martin, 26 years old, from Louisiana. This was his first nationwide race. It did not end the way he wanted it to.
Yeah, it certainly didn't end the way Scott Lagasse wanted it to. That 44 was about 15 laps down.
Now from the onboard, Ricky's reaction. He knows what this caution means.
Good, these guys. The other way, opposite way there, right in the middle.
Well, it's going to go overtime. It's going to
might
go
work
more
out
laps.
perfect. These dudes might run out.
He's got fuel. He's got fuel, and I'm not sure about Elliott Sadler.
Plus, he's got better tires on the car. This could turn out to be a points gain for him, possibly.
This would be amazing. Here's when everybody made their last pit stops on lap 139. And we are now completed 198.
Yeah, Ricky Stenhouse, his last stop was 164.
Yeah, Stenhouse is sitting pretty. Catbird seat. And if you look at that side of the car, you'd say, well, man, he didn't have any trouble. Yep, here comes the 3. Here comes the 2.
I'm coming. The 3 came, so I came.
And the 7 of Danica Patrick. Jamie?
And Danica's getting counted down. Steve Letarte, crew chief for Dale Jr. on the box watching. Right sides and fuel is the call, Doc.
4 seconds of fuel. That's what they call for Elliott Sadler. He would have made it to the checkered flag, but not going to make it past that on the green-white checkered. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's gone. Vince.
And the 3 of Austin Dillon also taking a splash and go. They had asked him to save, but they just weren't going to make it.
So let's go back to that moment in the race when you said they should have pitted.
Yeah, they should have. They had the opportunity to get fuel. Back when Stenhouse got his lap back, they should have come down pit road then, got fuel, and just raced him. That's the guy that raced for the championship. They'd had plenty of fuel, not have to worry about that at all. Now they've put themselves in a box.
It's going to take a while for this cleanup. There you see how that team's scheduled to run a full schedule next year in the Nationwide Series.
Yeah, that's a big mistake, though. He's 15 laps down there. Crashed with the guy that was kind of running up front.
Well, while we wait to get everything cleaned up, well, let's talk about the man who is up front. Take it back to Richmond last year, Kyle Busch. Yeah, he was driving for Joe Gibbs Racing where he won all those championships, or weight races and the championship. And let's talk to his crew chief. How about it, Dave?
I think Mike Beam knows what this would mean. Can you describe it in words if Kyle could hang on?
Well, I mean, we definitely need to win a race with Kyle. Everyone's worked so hard, and to go to a backup car and, the right side killed on his car, it's just Kyle, his effort, which, he wants to win for Monster and, and his company. And it'd mean a lot to all of us because, it's been a hard 10 months, I'm telling you. It's been, just races we should have won, we have won, and other places where we just really missed the setup, first year team, but it'd mean a lot, like I said, just to reward all the people and all the people at the shop, all their families that, that's just sacrificed so much. So we'll see. I mean, that's kind of the way our season's gone, have a shot at it, and then the caution comes out, and I mean, we're right there on fuel, but I'm not going to say, whatever happens is going to be good because we need to win. I mean, that's just the honest to God's truth. Kyle deserves it. The company deserves it. Monster deserves it. So, it's, Dave, I've done this for a long time, so we'll see. I mean, I hope and pray, the racing gods are with us today, but it really stink if they're not.
Enough left in the tank right there on the fuel, and certainly the driver has enough left as well. Vince?
With Ernie Cope and the crew chief on the 33, Paul Menard. Ernie, you guys have led the most laps today. At times it looked like you've had the dominant car, but you needed that yellow there. Now what do you have here for the restart? First of all, enough fuel to get to the end?
We're not sure. We're going to be close. We're just racing for the win. We're not running for points, so it's going to be close. Hopefully we don't run out, but if we do, we're going to go down trying.
Saw Mike Kelly, Ricky Stenhouse's crew chief, just came down and had a word with you. What was that about?
He was just wondering if he thought we're going to be have enough to go, so, they didn't want to run into the back of us. So I'm not sure. We'll see.
What's your feeling here as we get ready to go?
I really don't know. We're really close.
There you hear it, guys. That close, Marty.
Yeah, and this is unbelievable when you think back. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. right now shown in 5th position, and with the stop, Elliott Sadler will restart 14th. And look at the points as they run right now. Stenhouse would chop 10 off from the beginning of the race, and instead of being 29 down like he was at one point, he'd be just 3 back. Unreal.
Yeah, you got to give that team a lot of credit, too. And Ricky Stenhouse in driving this car. He made a mistake earlier, but they have fought back, got themselves in a position now, and sometimes, you know, fortune just turns your way, but he's doing a really, really good job. And, Vince, I think you're with Mike Kelly.
I am with Mike, and Mike's just getting ready to talk and communicate with Ricky Stenhouse Jr., just communicating that everybody's struggling with fuel ahead of him. Mike, at one time it looked like this was going to be a disaster. Now it's almost playing into your hand. What do you feel about the way this is going to come down?
Man, you know, sometimes things happen for reasons, and you don't know why. You know, today was tough. We had a really fast race car and got ourselves behind. We were 2 laps down at one point, but the Sam's Club Ford Fusion Ford Mustang's been fast all day. And we got a few laps to go to see how this thing works out. You know, hopefully, if anything, it works out, we'll gain some points on these guys, and we'll take it to them at Texas.
On the incident with Joey, we'd heard on the radio that you guys were trying to get some debris off the grill, and then the accident happened. Clear up what happened there.
You know, we'd been running hot. We'd gotten a bunch of grass on our grill from earlier, and we talked to their spotter and let them know we were trying to clear that off, and finally we realized that it just wasn't going to come off that way, and we decided we were going to go ahead and pass them. We thought they knew that we were just riding behind them, and we made a move underneath them, and obviously the two got into an incident there. And I hate it for Joey, and I hate it for our guys. We race these guys clean all year long, and a situation like that really stinks for both of us.
Thanks, Mike. Marty?
And boy, it looks like this championship is going to go down to the last 3 races as we show you the ticket to the race. Texas Motor Speedway in a couple of weeks, November 3rd, Phoenix, November 10th, and Homestead, Miami, November 17th. Hope to see you there. If not, tune in because it is looking like it will go to the wire. This will be our 2nd green-white checker finish here at Kansas, our 6th of the 2012 season. And the only guy we are absolutely 100% sure that's going to make
Looks
it.
like 12's out of gas.
Yep. Sam Hornish may be out of fuel already, and that's what I was getting ready to say. The only guy I know for sure is Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and now Justin Allgaier, because he has stopped.
Now, this is going to run some other cars out of fuel because it'll probably keep the caution flag out and extend this race even longer if he can't get going.
I don't know if he can't even coast back. He doesn't have enough speed.
Not sure we're going to make it here, guys. Just barely moving halfway down the back.
So likely the caution will stay out.
Going green.
And now they're going to add a lap.
Looks like possibly Cole Witt may be out if I'm seeing that.
Well, he got it refired. It looks like another car is being pushed down on the apron there.
It's like Kenny Wallace.
Kenny Wallace.
Kenny Wallace getting a push from
Ronnie's brother. Yeah.
So it looks like Kenny is out of fuel.
And this thing getting extended another lap is going to run some more cars out of fuel.
Cole Witt coming down the road.
33 might be. He's just shutting his off.
So these will be just gas. Well, they're actually going to put tires on the 12 on that right side. Just fuel for the 88. He's already out of the box. They're going to put 4 tires on for Sam. He'll restart no worse than 16th. He'll only beat the green-white checker to go. Kenny Wallace having trouble getting refired while they're trying to get restarted. Let's talk about how this affects this extra lap, everybody else that hasn't pitted.
We're already at 203. It's going to go at least 3 more laps, so it's going to go 206, and there's a lot of cars that's probably not going to make it now. Stenhouse is sitting really, really good. I mean, he's one of the cars that we know can make it.
Well, don't forget, Justin Allgaier also pitted here. Stenhouse is good. Ryan Blaney is good. Logano is good. Let's get an update. Dave Burns.
Kyle Busch still has fuel, but Rick Wren, competition director, shaking his head, told me moments after we talked to Mike Beam that he wasn't sure they could make it. Also down in the 54 pit, Kurt Busch. He has one in the 54 car this year, hoping his brother has enough gas to take it to victory lane.
That victory was back at Richmond in April. And, a lot of nervous people in the 54 pit. Pace car pulls off. All right, here we go. It's Busch, Menard, then Stenhouse, Annett, Blaney, Logano. That is your top 6. And Menard is out of fuel. And another car, Blaney, is slowing.
Yeah, that's because Michael Annett had to jump to the right, got up into Blaney.
And if Menard can't get off the track, we might have another caution flag. He is drifting towards pit out.
Ricky Stenhouse sitting in a pretty good position to maybe win this race after being 2 laps down.
Stenhouse in second. Remember when Stenhouse passed Kyle Layton a race just a few races ago?
One more.
That's Joey Logano right behind Stenhouse. Well, he let him do that.
33 got off the track. This race is going to go to conclusion now. Does Kyle Busch break the streak and get his first win in his own car? He's shaking the car left and right, trying to make sure he has fuel. Stenhouse sitting in second place.
Running out.
He's running low, and it's not going to happen. He's run out of fuel. Ricky Stenhouse is going to win. Unbelievable.
Way to never give up, guys. Way to never give up. Awesome job. Awesome job.
Did he run into you?
I can't believe this.
Yeah, it got crazy right there at the
What a
end.
driving job. What great strategy today. Unbelievable. This is why we're champions. This is why it's never over till it's over.
2 laps down. Go ahead and scream. You earned it. Austin Dillon finishes second. It is the 6th last lap pass of 2012. Unreal. Behind Dillon, it was Joey Logano in third, and after the checkered flag, this is what happened.
Yeah, I don't think Logano was still very happy about the earlier contact they had in the race, but what a finish for Stenhouse.
I'll tell you what, though, Joey had an opportunity earlier in the race. If he wanted to, he could have dumped him into the wall. That's new. Let's do the burnout while we're climbing out of the car. His 8th career win. His last win was back at Chicagoland. 6th win here of 2012. Second only to Joey Logano's 8th. And his first win in his 3rd start here at Kansas. All right, Dave Burns is caught up with Joey Logano.
He finished third, Marty. The driver he had contact with wins the race. Can you describe your thoughts right now, Joey?
That's frustrating. We didn't have the car that could win this thing anyway. Neither did the 6, so it just kind of worked out that way for the both of us. I guess taking the 3rd place finish out of a day like that, we'll take it. But it's unfortunate. You know, we were okay in clean air, got in traffic, and it was really tight. And then we got fenced, and we tried fixing it, and we came back for a solid finish. So it gets to 18 up there in points still, and keeps that lead and grows it actually a little bit. So, oh well, we'll go on to the next one and try to win that one.
What about the little tap after the race? Is that the last discussion you two are going to have about this?
Yeah, that's all we're going to talk about. That was just like a hey, good job.
Joey smiling through it all. I have a feeling they will have a little more to discuss, maybe over coffee or something like that.
Yeah, I got to admit, that's the first good job spanking I've ever seen.
Well, it was a good job regardless.
This is unreal, folks. I'm telling you. Let's check in with Kyle Busch, Doc.
Kyle, so close, so very close, and I know you guys wanted it so badly. How close was it on the fuel?
I ran out in the middle of 3 and 4, but that's our year, man. That's nothing else to it than that. You know, I just can't say enough about all our guys, everybody at Monster Energy and Toyota. They do a great job for us, and you know, we're supposed to repay them by winning races, and we haven't done that this year. So what a frustrating feat, but oh well, you get defeated sometimes.
You found something on the racetrack that allowed you to go back by a lot of people today that maybe could help you tomorrow. Is that right?
We'll see. I mean, it's definitely still really, really treacherous. I mean, you can be on the outside of a guy, and a guy can try to pass you on the inside, and you can hold him tight and about wreck him. So it's just a one-lane racetrack. It'll take a couple of years to spread out, but you know, we'll see how tomorrow unfolds, I mean, it's going to be somewhat of the same day, but I don't know. We'll see.
Kyle Busch able to talk to us, even though it's a little frustrating here. Dave Burns.
And Doc, Elliott Sadler finished 4th on the afternoon, just having a quick debrief with crew chief Luke Lambert. Elliott, you're still the championship leader, 6 points ahead. Can you describe what happened today?
Yeah, it was a pretty crazy day. Just, sometimes you're on the right side of all the fuel mileage in the strategy, and sometimes on the wrong side. That last caution, just killed us and took a lot of points from us. And it was just a tough day for us. We struggled with the car a little bit all weekend. Thought we had managed it the best way we could. We were going to get a decent finish, but there at the end, we had to pit. We couldn't take a chance, and then the 3 pitted with us, and the 33 actually ran out of gas, and we were on the same plan. So running for a championship, we had to pit and give up track position to make it to the end.
3 races to go. Elliott has the lead. Marty?
All right. Thank you very much. Let's head towards victory lane. This is going to be a wild celebration for Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
It's unbelievable. From 2 laps down, nearly crashed, your championship on the brink of going away, and now you're just 6 points out of the hunt. What's going through your mind after you guys somehow came back to win that race?
I thank the good Lord first. We were doing a lot of praying there in the car, all trying to get 2 laps back, and he let everything work out. The Sam's Club Mustang super fast there once we got out front. Then I made the mistake. I was trying to get some debris off the grill. We were running like 300 water temperature, and Joey checked up, and I ran into the side of him. Thought it killed us, but we don't ever give up, and just got to thank Null Synergy Drink, Nationwide Insurance. All the fans had a great crowd out here today, and I think the race was pretty good.
You said before the race, we've got to win races to have a chance at the championship. When you had that contact and you were 2 laps down, did you think it was over?
I thought it was over for sure. I thought that I had killed it for us. We've given up a lot of points on my end of it, struggling and making mistakes, and we made another mistake, but we were able to bounce back from it and get the job done. Just I think Valvoline Next Gen 4, just everybody that comes on board with us, Cargill Beef, that was fun.
6th win of the season for the number 6, and Marty, they're 6 points back. Maybe a little luck in the numbers.
All right, thank you, Vince. The point differential, as you mentioned, 6 between 1st and 2nd, and 26 back to Austin Dillon in 3rd. I want to remind you, tomorrow it's NASCAR Sprint Cup Series here at Kansas, presented by Ram, 1 o'clock Eastern tomorrow on ESPN. The nationwide race, our next stop, November 3rd, 7 o'clock Eastern from Texas. Coming up next, it's College Football Scoreboard, presented by Honda, and we're going to send it over to Reese Davis. For all of us here on our ESPN crew, I'm Marty Reed. Till we meet again, it's all yours, Reese.